Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the show today. Very happy to have you here. Hopefully everyone had themselves a good weekend. We are starting to get into it. Spring is certainly here. We're about to hit May. Damn. Time definitely flies. I've noticed that. It's another rainy day for me, but it's the season, isn't it? But I got a hot cup of coffee. I'm sitting with a bunch of friends and we're going to have some role playing fun, and that's all good. So, welcome. And once again, hope everyone is doing well. I know that this has been a bit of a long winter for many people. It happens from time to time, right? And But you just remember that global warming, though. So that's what's most important because it's getting hotter. Everybody, they keep telling themselves that.
That's why winter's longer.
That's why winter's longer
Hey,
because it's getting hotter.
as long as they believe they can make you pay more taxes.
They can, and we should talk about the Easter Bunny, I guess. But nevertheless, did you guys were you far enough north to get any aurora last week? Last few
No,
days.
but it's been snowing and hailing the last 3 days for
Uh,
me and GOP.
Too
No,
bad.
we were actually in that range. I didn't get to
Yeah,
see it.
Uh,
I didn't
I
notice it.
didn't
yeah.
see it. I was too much with the golf ball sized hail.
Well, and that happens too. But last time I remember seeing that, of course, I haven't been in the states for decades, literally decades. But when I was a kid, I remember seeing that because it does happen from time to time. If you get a big enough sunstorm, it will hit the electromagnetic shield we have. And it will cause a further display of the aurora because that's all it is. It's just the shield interacting with solar winds, right? But so when I was a kid, in Rhode Island, I did see, I remember seeing, but hopefully some of you guys got to see. The aurora is something really neat to have a chance to witness. I know that we had a little bit of an eclipse here last week too, and those are also fun.
That was
Um,
nice.
yeah.
Puffins in general.
I was
Oh,
about to
okay.
It
say.
didn't happen this. It didn't happen this winter, Chester. But about a year
Hi,
ago, we
David,
had a good solar event,
James, and Luke.
and
Howdy.
Yeah. Hold on a second.
yeah,
Let
I,
go
I
ahead, Tower.
actually was. I was actually able to see light pillars, a form of aurora borealis, right here in Chicago.
Yeah, yeah, no, we get them sometimes. It just depends on if you get a big enough sunstorm, and it will push the aurora will push further. It's just the shield is buckling more. That's why you see it. It's not a big deal, but it is neat though. So hopefully some of you did. Streamed hams. I don't know what that means, Dave, but welcome. What about the Easter Bunny? We won't. We'll drop that subject, Dave. We'll drop it. We got Games and Luton here as well. Howdy, howdy indeed. We got Puffin. We got a Puffin. Hi, Puffin.
Hello. How's it going?
It's going well. So, seeing as you've taken the nickname Puffin, does that lead me to believe that you're a person living in the southern hemisphere?
I am.
You are. So,
I
are
live
you?
in
Let me see if I can guess. South Africa.
no.
No. Okay. Uh,
Well, I mean, I
Patagonia.
guess it's southern hemisphere of my country, but not the actual southern hemisphere of the planet.
Well, puffins and penguins and all that being from the Antarctic.
Hmm.
That
Yeah, it
was the
was actually
joke.
it was actually a college nickname that
Oh.
stuck.
Oh wow. Did you waddle?
No, I don't know why they called me that. I think at first they thought that I was smoking something, and puffin meant something different. But then
Oh,
Did
I see.
you?
then they edited
Did you?
it to
Hmm? Oh, go
someone
ahead.
someone was saying something.
No, no, go ahead, dude.
Oh,
Continue. They were
yeah.
just being
Go
rude
ahead.
bastards. Go ahead.
Yeah, and then they kind of edited it to the bird so they didn't get busted by the people that ran the hall.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Sweet. Sweet.
Nice.
But I think actually with this, I think everyone here is an American. Yeah, I don't think we have any foreign.
Yee.
So which is interesting because on most of my shows, I got people from all over the world, which I love actually. I think that's one of the great things about the internet. But yeah, this is my only show that is only Americans are involved. Well, here
Wait.
anyway. In the chat is different, but yeah, no, because Yeah, no, absolutely. Especially the drawing shows. Sure, I got people from Indonesia, South America, Europe, Canada, even
Australia,
Oh,
or is it
really?
New
Australia,
Canada?
Zealand?
yeah, New Zealand. No, Australia. We get a New Zealander every now and then, although we
Oh
haven't seen
shit.
him in a while. But yeah, no, unfortunately, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the news. There is a New Zealand pilot who crash landed in Papua New Guinea, or New Papua, actually, I should say, and he's being held for ransom. So that's unfortunate. But then again, that gets in a bit of history that no one bothers to pay attention to. Did you know that the Americans actually sent military in with Indonesia to take the western part of Papua New Guinea some decades ago? Did you know that America invaded Papua New Guinea? Anybody?
No.
No.
Did
Yeah.
not.
Wait, wait,
I
wait,
wouldn't be
wait. Was it
surprised.
for was it because of I forgot the name of the material, but it's essentially what like bird poop that they use to make the phosphorus for the gunpowder and stuff?
No, they simply wanted the Indonesians to support their anti-communist runs.
Well,
Fair
I can
enough.
understand.
That's a good enough reason.
Mhm. Is it? Because the Indonesians are literally filling mass graves with dead Papua New Guineans.
You gotta do what you
As
gotta do in the name of America. Yee yee.
Okay,
Oh my God.
alrighty then. Guess that ends that
oh man.
conversation right there, GOP.
Yep.
That's the end of that.
What's that South Park song? America.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Freedom is
Has
the
it been 15
only
minutes? It hasn't
way.
been
Yeah.
15 minutes yet, Tower. You're not allowed to
No,
say bad
sir.
words.
Only 8
Oh
minutes.
my god. Chester,
We're-
Chester. I'm literally wearing a Yee Yee Apparel Co. hat.
Yeah,
Silver aviators waiting in line to get a McDouble.
that's
Close
fine,
to
but
it.
that's
just keep in
very
mind on the
American.
show, never swear or say anything controversial in the first 15 minutes, please.
I'm
Yes.
sorry.
Yeah, the
I
algorithm is
know.
paying
Otherwise,
most attention during that time.
It's a known fact.
It is.
well,
Again.
I'm just saying, if you keep swearing, Chester's going to lose all his monetization.
Yeah, all of it.
We're getting paid for this?
No, that's a joke.
Yeah, I'm not running a YouTube channel here. This is an easy way for me to communicate with people. Although I probably need
And
to
the
switch
practice is English.
and to practice my English. That's true.
Yes.
But I should just move everything over to Rumble, shouldn't I?
Yeah,
You
What's
Rumble's
your name?
No,
Wait,
no,
what is
don't.
that?
Wait,
you'll
hold
be the
on.
only person I know on Rumble.
I mean,
No,
I'm going
just
to Rumble.
Is that like
you don't
MySpace?
have to. Sorry.
Well, no, I can do both. But I mean, I should
Yeah,
put myself basically on Rumble and also stream to YouTube. It's easy. It's just a literal button press. It's not that big a deal. But I really should get on and doing that because I'm not here to run a YouTube channel. I'm not here to make money. I'm not here to be recognized or work the algorithm so I can get more clicks. That's not what I'm doing. I just am simply interacting. I could just do it on Discord, I suppose, but I didn't know that at the time. But it's
I
all
would
right.
honestly.
They've gotten better on Discord, about
I would
gaming and stuff like that.
Mhm,
suggest.
mhm.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you should do both. Like, it doesn't hurt you to do an extra one, and if something were to ever happen to your YouTube, okay, nothing changes really. You have the other option already there, already established.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah.
Because I got hit with my first actual community strike a few weeks back, and that was because we were talking about young celebrities and how many of them end up ruining their lives, and then somewhere in there, someone mentioned Pizzagate, like for 2 seconds. For
Which you
five
just
What is
did.
years. Well, for 5 years it was fine, and then all of a sudden it wasn't fine.
Yeah.
So, you know,
That's YouTube though.
and I
I
just
mean,
said
that's
it
how they.
again, so I'm probably gonna get hit again. So there you go.
Yep. They're out for people.
They are. I understand that. That's why I said just go to
11
Rumble.
minutes.
Yes, no, I know. You're right. You're right. Of course, you're right. No, I'm guilty. But nevertheless, other than all that kind of nonsense, there is a bunch of interesting things going on in the world today, as there always is. But we're here just to forget all that crap, and we're just going to play a game. So,
Oh, I was um gonna mention something to you,
sure.
esteemed Mr. Chester.
Hmm.
Uh-oh.
When I was thinking today about Rumble and doing something on there, and I was like, man, I wish there was somebody on Rumble that would just go over history of what's actual history before people start making up their own history and telling it to kids. And I'm like, hey, Chester does history. He can make an accurate history, you know.
I could, but that would require time.
Mm-hmm.
Which he
Yeah.
doesn't have.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, I have the free time I have during the week, I'm here. Yeah. So I only have about my free time during the day, I'd say is at least what would be, something I could interact with you guys, would be like 8 hours a week, maybe.
wow.
Something
Mhm.
something
Nice.
like that. Yeah.
Chester, you definitely you could actually do very good as like a YouTube teacher per se with like history and stuff. Especially like 20-minute discussions. You'd do really good at that.
Yeah, but I mean there's plenty of dudes that do that already, I'm sure.
Yeah, but they're not Mr. Chester Bugsby.
They don't have your voice in your delivery.
Your
It's
swagger.
swagger. I have swagger, lady.
13 minutes.
It's really
Your what?
it has a lot to do with the bad back, but
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, from carrying all these streams, no wonder you got a bad back.
it's true. It is true. But
He used to have more.
but no, I wouldn't mind because actually, occasionally, Puffin, I do get into little historical conversations over here, but I always get yelled at by the group. It's boring, Chester. Shut up.
I
Well, I would
like the
love
discussion. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
to
I
join
get a
you
lot. I get a lot of shit.
on
It's
a
his
history
other it's his other
session.
shows.
Oh, I understand.
They don't understand because they're not Americans.
Well,
Yeah.
that's not really necessarily the case, but yeah.
Mhm.
Anyways,
Yeah. Anyways,
Look, it's the problem is when people take pride in their lack of education.
well, they
It'd be
do.
like
They
that.
That is a
they don't
problem.
know
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
inadequate their information is.
Yeah, but then again, one thing I've learned in my life of my 50 plus years of life, lady, is if all that effort and all that work and every day I try to learn something new, it really comes to naught
Yeah.
because I'm a history focused person, but one thing I could tell you about history is for the most part it's bullshit, and that's coming from an expert.
are you trying to say that it's written by the victors?
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Haven't y'all figured that out yet?
No, it really is. But the good thing that historians do bring you, though, however, is it's when we dig in the ground, right? And I haven't done that in decades, but when we dig in the ground and we bring things up, this is stuff we're getting from the past, and this allows us to get a win because that thing did exist. It's here in your hand, so that is useful. DNA study, which I do actual papers and stuff on anthrogenetics. It's one of my specialties, and that has been very useful to us. Because if you remember, most of you here are older. I'm sure that you remember when you were a kid, you were taught the out of Africa theory, right? And which is fine.
Yeah,
There was nothing wrong with that theory. It was a good idea. But now that we have genetics, we know that it's not true. It's simply not true at all.
They're out of
So
India.
well, no, we're coming
No?
from some more primitive form, which we haven't really
Yeah.
identified yet. But we all kind of grew up as our own root Homo sapiens sapiens. We're not coming from one type of Homo sapien and then adaptation changed us into what we are, which was the original theory. It's different. We were coming from some earlier hominid, and we're all stuck in our little pockets, and we adapted into Homo sapiens ourselves. In truth, the rest of the people on Earth have a closer genetic connection than any of us have to African Americans, or not African Americans, sub-Saharan Africans. We've had more connection with each other than them. And then if you go back and understand with the Indian plate has been rising and still rising today geologically, you'd understand that there's a period in history not that long ago that Africa was just the southern part and it was an island. So the northern part of Africa is relatively new, out of the ocean, as it were. So they were isolated down there, right? And that's why they're very unique, where the rest of us were running around intermixing with each other. So, you know,
Mhm.
once again, I
17.
yes, it's time. I'm going to shut up.
I am intrigued. I would love a history talk, just one history episode, just Chester talking about stuff you didn't know.
Well, I mean, it is interesting. I've always found history
I'm
extremely entertaining. It's interesting
I
to talk
enjoy
actually
about.
these
for the
talks.
dice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But
All
anyway,
right,
I'm a big
live.
here we go.
chick.
So I'm going to switch over the other side, and we're going to get into this. So, lady,
Let's
you're in
get
charge
on
of the
like
chat. All
Yes,
right.
I see the chat.
So here we go. This is Umbral session 14. It's actual case file 7.2, the second part of our seventh case file. And as you know, once again, just to reiterate, we are doing Cortex Prime. The campaign setting, of course, is Umbral. And so let's get right into where we were. Now, we've all of our work here has been coming up toward dealing with Lord Raoul. Now, he's an Archduke of Stygia, and Stygia is one of the major Vale realms. It's a very powerful one. It's where you get your kind of traditional looking demons from, right? The Stygians, and they've caused trouble throughout history. It's not the first time, but it is a big deal because you have a very very powerful elder demon on Earth. And keep in mind, even though he's kind of weird looking, as I'm showing you here, he doesn't look like the other Stygians, right? And that's because he's one of the actual Atalani. And a lot of our story here is coming from the root Atalani and all the things they've created over history. And we have an actual Atalani in the party. Just to remind you, Stygians usually kind of look like this, right? But we've done a lot of things to get where we are today. And what they're trying to do, because we have Excalibur has been got from Merzin, and we're trying to go and we have to stop. We have to kill Raul or push him back beyond the veil again, because his intentions are to wipe everything out on Earth and start over. That's his intention. And the people are supporting him agree, and they think that's what needs to do because everything's become so polluted and poisoned that they need to just start again. So it's not like it's evil for evil's sake. There is an intention going on with Raul, but anybody who's alive would, disagree. I would think.
Mhm.
But nevertheless, that's the thing, and we've taken a big step in getting Excalibur because that allows Tower's character to be the from Merzin. We got the Excalibur, and this allows us to have a real heavy hitter against Raoul. But they went and they talked to a council, an inner council of the Elohim. Um, and there's one big problem. We had a lot of things that were going around dealing with Ramdar Steppe, which is, of course, they found out is actually Sidon's fulcrum, is the actual name of it, and this allows them to move around freely, teleporting from one place to the other, because right now the networks are down. So it's a very useful thing, and in order to get close enough to Raal to try to make that surgical hit, this item is very, very important. However, the creator of this, another elder, Sidon of Crete, he's always aware of what's happening with the magical items he's created. So, and he's just a malicious, malignant thing. And it has been decided that in order to make that strike against Raul, they have to take him out. So the team has been sent to do that. And that's their mission: find and kill Sidon the Elder. And they went to Little Rock. I know, it's weird. Why would an elder be in Arkansas? But he is,
Because that's where it's at.
because that's where it's at. And of course, they went and they interacted. They found that there was a dove minder. Minder's job is simply to watch and to record. right? They're not enforcement, they're not detectives, they're just simply watchers. And they met up with Palatine here. And they were able to go to one of because one of the things Sidon does every few days or so is he just murders, and you don't know very why, because there are certain demons that they do need to kill to survive. They have to eat blood or they have to eat something, right? But Sidon's an elder. There's no need for him to do anything at all. And this also brings up the interesting potential question: is why are the elders such a perfection of demon interaction? Why is that? Because everything after that is flawed and less. Why were the elders so perfect? And no one really knows that except for one of the people in our party probably knows that. But nevertheless,
Me.
they did go to the murder, and in this research, because Palatine, he can track. Well, in this case, he's been put on Sidon. He can track him through his victims, and that's why they were there. But of course, Sidon kind of had a feeling something was up, and he left a little bit of a surprise for the party, and they got in a big fight with the harlot. So we had a nice recurring villain moment. But and her cat.
Oh,
I'm still freaking
Octopussy.
about the
Octopussy,
cat.
yeah, or Cthulhu Kitty, but nevertheless, it wasn't that vicious of a fight. Although I did put a little bit of temporary hurting on him. But more importantly, during that fight, Palatine got dropped, and that's not good because you kind of need him to track Sidon, because we really need to find Sidon and kill his ass, right? So they find themselves in a bit of problem because Palatine is dead. However, Palatine did have last words, which he said to Lady, I think, wasn't it? Pretty sure it was
I
Lady.
believe it was.
I think it was.
I forget what his
Uh,
words were.
and he said, "You must find Eudora." But, and he died. So,
So we have to find Eudora, but got it.
So, Lady, you're the only one who heard this. That's where we left off, and that's where we're picking up. Palatine's dead body is in your arms, Lady, and he just told you that, so go.
Oh my gosh, guys, he's dead. I couldn't save him.
Jeez.
I turn a Tootsie Roll in a rose and I throw it at his dead body.
This ain't time for Tootsie Roll.
It's very kind of you.
He did give me last words though. You must find Eudora. But
what?
Can I magically
That's
resurrect him? Is that an
No, you
ability?
can't.
Even if
Shit.
you had, yeah, you can't do that. Like as a general thing. Yeah.
Well, no, that power it is powerful. That power does exist, but if someone in the party had that power, I would have reconstructed my story here, right?
Mm-hmm. He would have been vaporized.
Or something,
yeah.
Or
he can evaporate like Jedi in the Force.
Exactly, yeah. But there you go, guys. So this, because one of the things I'm always trying to do with this setting, or just simply being on internet, is to try to remove the linearness of it. And this is an opportunity for me to do that. So I have, other than Eudora herself, in between that and now, I have nothing prepared. I have no slides. I have nothing. You're sitting here in Little Rock, Arkansas, with a dead dove minder who has told you to find Eudora, and you really need to kill Sidon. That is vitally important. And keep in mind, as we are gonna, it's late, but we're gonna roll into the morning, I'm sure. Day 2. We only have 108 days. Day 2.
Okay, Tower for once actually has a good idea, y'all. Legitness. So I'm going to bring up the fact that he was a watcher. Watchers record things. Where is this guy's notebook, data logs, whatever? I'm sure he wrote something down.
Paul,
that's a good point.
Look through his stuff that he's recorded and find
Where
the
is
name.
it? Did he have
Eudora.
anything on his body or something? His
We have
notebook,
a
no
notebook.
databases.
Remember, we were in his tomb room
Yeah, no,
with all the books. He
Remember?
did put
definitely
it
pull it
online. That's why I asked Paul to check for Eudora in his documents.
All right. Tower had a good idea, Chester.
Yes, you did. And keep in mind that, of course, the YouTube viewers are watching, but for you guys here with me, I am sharing in the Discord. Just click on my icon, and you can see what I'm showing you. And of course, you guys found him and met him at Little Rock Baptist in Little Rock. So
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna check his body, just see if he has any notes on him, first of all.
he does
Before we
have
head back.
a small moleskin notebook that has a pencil caught in the strap.
All right. I'll give it a quick flip through, see it. Well, I'll look through it as we kind of head back to the church.
Well, what are you going to do? Well, there's now keep in mind you're sitting in the middle of a situation where the harlot, the octopussy, the octokitty, teleported her away. So you took her out, but obviously she's not dead. You took he got her out of there. But you're in a room. The entire hallway to wall to the hallway is missing. There's chunks of the wall out to the road missing. The window's been blown out. There are pieces of dead cops everywhere, and Palatine's mauled and bloody body is in Lady's arms.
Well, I'm going to assume that there are probably already other cops on the way, considering that there has to be, right? Um, so I mean, yeah, we can pick him up, but I mean,
Was there any cops left?
No.
no, but I'm sure more cops will be coming, considering it basically is going to feel like seem like a bomb went off or something in here,
Mhm.
you know. Um,
Mm.
so
That is
I,
not a bad assumption. So what are you going to do?
I personally think we should head to the church. I don't think we need to stay here. We kind of know where we need to go. Personally, we don't have to be here, but that's just my thoughts on it.
Get
Yeah,
And
on
yeah.
the local
I'm just sitting back. You
PD
guys do
on
your
the
thing.
phone.
Mm.
I'm getting on the phone with the local PD, tell them it's a wipe. They need emergency people down here. It's a bigger wipe.
They
yeah,
need a
well, everyone's
coroner.
dead, so it's not like there's anything we can do unless anyone survived.
Do
But I
y'all
thought
want to take his body back to the chapel?
I can take his body back to the chapel.
okay, we can take him back with us. Maybe someone there has resurrection. But yeah, we should head back to the chapel.
Tower,
Okay.
back to the chapel. You got the step.
Because I don't think there's anything here that would allow
Yeah,
us to trace them back to, like, we have to find that person. So yeah.
I do what they want me to do.
Okay. So you teleport everyone, and Puffin is carrying Palatine's body. I'm assuming.
Mhm.
And
Yep.
you guys go, now that you know, because all you need really with Sidon's Fulcrum is to know where you're going to be able to visualize it. So you guys, boom, you're back in the rectory of Little Rock Baptist with the dead body of Palatine. And of course, as you arrive out of nowhere, it startles the people in the room. Instantly, one of the secretary girls realizes and runs over to try to help Palatine. And she just starts bawling her eyes out as she realizes he's beyond help. Several people start coming over. Other people come in the room. The priest actually enters as well. There's a bit of chaos of people mourning Palatine. He clearly was very loved here, and the priest demanding to know what the hell's going on.
We were
Um.
attacked. We'll let the mouthpiece talk.
I kind of give them a rough overview that yeah, we were essentially attacked. And unfortunately, Palatine did not make it. Um. Now, granted, here's one thing that I haven't really got any clarification on. So with Umbral characters, we can bring them back, like tether their body, but he's already been tethered once. Is it like, is someone able to be tethered again, or
No,
how
he is
does
No,
not.
it?
he's
Once
human.
again, I will show you this picture where
He
I
Oh, it
is
put
says Umbral.
the order.
he's an order
Pack.
member. He's not tethered like you.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry, not tethered. I
Yeah.
should say that's my bad.
Well, it's important,
Um,
in
yeah,
this
yeah, yeah. No,
campaign
you're
world.
right. But what so he is Umbral. So can he be brought back, or is it like if you die in some brutal way, you can't get brought back? You have to be like specially prepared.
You know
You know, that's a
the magic does exist, but it is extremely rare thing to be able to reconnect a spirit to a body and not do it in a demon way. There are
Mhm.
ways to do it that are much easier, and you do have contacts. Keep this in mind. For instance, if you do have a very powerful the contact that could bring him back instantly, but he might not
The Queen?
appreciate it.
He doesn't want to be a
Well,
vampire.
that's true. Well, he can always kill himself again if he doesn't want to be a vampire.
Do, do I have any ancient knowledge of this subject, of even speaking to spirits, old rituals, things forgotten?
You do. You know that for the elders, you're not that kind. You're a combatant more than you are a spellsmith, right? But
Hmm.
you know, with the elders, it's certainly an easier thing to get done. The magics do exist; they're just very rare. But then again, the whole demon, because I use demon as a general word, right? The whole
Hmm.
demon thing is about reconnecting the spirit to the body or a body. That's the whole thing with
Hmm.
demons, right? So there are many ways to do it. Actually, to do it directly, though, to literally pull a spirit back into a body, it's rare, dude. It's hard.
I was just
How much
asking
money do we have?
It's not about
I
money.
don't think that's the issue.
because
Yeah.
my
It's
character
about
has
having a good body for him to go into to begin
Well,
with.
it's not even that. The spirit has been lost. So to put it back the way it was is almost impossible. This is where the whole concept of demons comes from.
Hmm. Well, okay. We'll
Well,
assume
hold on.
that
We
we
could
know.
put it in
Puffin was
orphan.
trying to say something. Go ahead.
Okay,
Go ahead, dude.
you're muted, Puffin. He's still muted.
Puffin
Maybe.
is muted.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll put a pin in that since we have him here anyways, and I'll ask to see any of his notes if it might. I'll explain that it might be able to help us track down whoever did this.
Sure. So you're looking through the moleskin notebook, and of course you have an entire room of his work here, his little work area that you're going through. I'm assuming Tower is helping with that. You have Lady trying to use Paul to get information, which is not a bad idea. The young lady, the young secretary, has to be led from the room because she's unconsolable. She's upset. She's screaming at you. He's been here 2 decades, and then you come and he's dead. That she's blaming you. No one in authority is, however, else
um,
is. But she's clearly had some kind of relationship with
She was
him.
in love with him, yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
question.
Yes. Oh, here you're back. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. I had a question since I was thinking about it. Me and GOP when we were setting up the character. I had chosen my specialty. Besides the axes, the one I actually spent my points on was a otherworldly knowledge.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering, not so much of talking with his spirit, but wondering if whenever Sidon does his killings, if there's any kind of, I don't know how you describe it, like soul scars, like he'd leave a trail that we could follow to go back to him.
Well, you would either have to have the body to research that, or maybe he's done. Maybe Palatine did that kind of research as well. He
Okay.
did say to you, just to reiterate offhand, that Sidon seems to do it just for the pleasure of it. He did say that,
Mhm.
but it's not like this guy's going to divulge his entire life work to you in a matter of minutes, right?
True.
So there is research you could look through and see if that's a point. If you had the body, that would be a lot easier, but you don't. It's sitting back in the carcass of
We
that
can get
apartment.
it. We could get it if we wanted to.
Well, you make
Yeah.
that decision because we're still here only a couple of minutes in. You don't want to let that sit so long because cops are going to flood that place very, very shortly.
True.
Let's go back
Okay.
and grab
We
it,
get
but
our
let's not
yeah.
teleport into a place where everyone can see a hollowed out woman.
Well, we'll make sure we'll bring it back into the office area. Make sure everyone's out of here. So
Tower,
yeah, you want to
who
bamf in and bamf out?
who's going
And
with
so it
Tower?
will be. Yeah.
I'll go with them. Why not? Well, we should honestly all go. We're just gonna bounce in and bounce out, just in case anything happens.
We are all going. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no
Remember,
splitting.
lady. Every time someone stays behind, they lose all of their clothes.
They do.
We
Nakedness
all
takes place when you split the party.
And
yeah.
it's not only in this game, in the previous game too.
Yes,
All right, we're
but it's
gonna.
your fault. It's
Every
absolutely your
single
fault.
time.
All
You're like, I'm
Chester's
going to
fault.
stay here. And
No
ladies now
party
naked
splitting.
because of a nuclear explosion.
That's right.
Okay,
Okay.
everyone is gonna bamf in, pick up the body, and bamf out.
I do love the cultural influence Nightcrawler has had on the world.
Yep.
We bamf in, and the police are not here yet, but you can hear commotion outside, and it's probably police. So who's going to pick up the body out of the tub?
I'll
All
pick
you
it
have
up.
to do is touch it.
You've got telekinesis, lady.
Yes, lady has telekinesis.
Bring it
That's
up.
true.
Okay.
Okay. You're having there are a couple of pieces that are no longer attached.
We don't need
Gather
all of
them
them.
up.
Okay, you gather them
Oh,
up.
okay.
The body is floating in the air. Her chest cavity has been hollowed out. You can see that much clearer now.
Hmm.
Her right leg from the knee down has been separated, and her left arm has been cut in very, very neatly and surgically into several parts.
And
So
throw up.
yeah, and then you guys bamf out, I'm assuming. Okay. So you come back, you got this dead body floating in the air. The room, the priest is still here, but he has cleared the room for you as you requested.
Get
Okay.
something where it won't be just dripping everywhere.
A towel. Yeah,
Okay,
I'm sure towels.
I turn a Tootsie Roll into a giant tarp on the floor.
Okay,
Okay.
cool.
There you go.
That works.
Put it down.
Okay.
Shiver.
So
Yeah.
And then ask the priest, do you know who Eudora is?
he doesn't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Okay.
No, we might find
So
something else.
how are we going to? What is the separation of duties here? We have Mary Chapel on the ground. This girl here, single mom, waitress, 29 years old. We still don't know where the child is, by the way. Yeah, not to, and that was I do believe I gave a reward to Puffin
Mhm.
for noticing that. Good on you, sir.
Thank
Um, yeah, what is the deliberation of duties here? What's going on?
Well, we
Um,
should.
I'll go ahead.
The first thing that we should probably do is research who this person is. If he felt that with his dying breath that we should know the
Eudora.
name of this
Mhm.
Eudora person, we should probably get to the bottom of it. But from
Yep.
the sound of, he was giving us a warning with it, but was not able to finish. So we should be on our guard.
Well, what we should perhaps consider doing is, Puffin, if while we look through the documents and try and find any information on this person, if you want to use your knowledge to try and find a way to use this body to our advantage to track or do whatever you think you might be able to do, um, we might be able to kind of do two things at once. I'm thinking.
Sure.
So,
He will need Tower to do that. He will need Tower's character to do that. Underwood.
okay. So, Lady and I
Okay.
will look through the documents and try and find this person. Um, and uh, and yeah, Puffin and Tower can work on the magic. Cool. All
Okay.
right.
So let's start with the former first. Lady is going using Paul, and Paul is doing research, and of course that's let Paul do what he's doing. And Lady can help you. You guys are digging through books. You of course you start with the moleskin. You go through, and he's just kind of it's just his shorthand book that he uses when he's out in the field, and you see it's just filled of these dead bodies that Sidon has killed over the years, right? And as you start looking around these little moleskin books that you're holding, there's an entire shelf of them. The number
Yep.
is
This
insidious. You're kind of it has been unfortunate. Palatine is not organized to the level that he will create database collections of his information. It's a stream of thought, which is not good in this situation. So you guys are just digging through, looking for stuff to deal with Eudora, and Paul still hasn't answered you, lady. He's still compiling.
I
And
figure it's gonna take some time.
Right, but you are seeing a stream of Eudoras throughout the world. Their address is being dropped, though. That's useless to you. Of course, because which one is it? But you guys are getting on that and going through, and I'll come back to you in a minute. All right. Now, on the other side here, Puffin. Now, this being an elder, because you're an Atalani, right?
Right.
Right. Being an Atalani, and you are one of the firstborn. Now, keep in mind that the firstborn, there were a lot of them, right? And a good chunk of them no longer exist, right? But you were the firstborn, and we won't get into the secret you hold in regards to that right now. But one of the things you have, an ability you have that all elders have, is you can. I wouldn't use the word siphon, but you can connect to magical things and magical people. Now, there's an order, a very old and powerful order member sitting right next to you, who also happens to be holding Merzin, another elder's sword. So
Mhm.
he's extremely powered, but he has a lot of magical abilities, which he can control them, sure, but he doesn't even begin to understand the extent of the potential that's within him. You do, right?
Mhm.
So what you need to do is kind of feed off of his magic and use your ancient knowledge to do what Palatine was doing, and try to see if you can't find some connection to Sidon. That's your intention, right?
Correct.
Yes. Therefore, we need to bring up the dice, which I haven't even prepared yet.
Ah,
So useless.
we're doing
We
it
don't
live.
need dice for where
Doing it
going.
live. All right, here we go. All right, so let me go ahead and it's not what I wanted to do. All righty. Let's come back over to here, and I think I'm going to have to bring up the chat again because I screwed it up. Oh well. Oh, there it is. I don't have to go that far from it. Yeah, the chat popped out on me. Let me bring it back. Well, no, ladies should be able to still see it because I didn't go anywhere. But I need to pop it out again. Just give me 1 second here. All right, I gotta adjust a couple things because I was being stupid. All right, but anyway, let me bring this over on the other side, and there we go. Oh no, I want to do like this and bring that back over here. All right, fine, good. We're all good. All righty, so we got the dice up. I'm assuming everyone's on here. No, everyone's
I,
not on here. We have Lady, me, and GOP Tower, and Puffin are not here. So
I remember last time we were having some kind of problem with the link, and you had to send me some kind of direct thing. I don't know.
it's not working. All right, let me just send it to you again. No problem. Let me
Let me.
copy
Are
it
you on
here
a
for you.
phone? Thought you're on a computer.
No, it's
I'm
okay.
on.
Here we go. I'm pasting it right now. There you go. It's in the Discord chat, general chat. So go ahead.
Okay, good. It worked.
All right. So, therefore, we're on this side now. We're going to have two roles here. One is for Tower to be able to calm himself enough to let you siphon his general magicness, and then we'll need a knowledge roll from you. So we'll start with Tower. Now, Tower, this is something you've probably never done before. You don't have too much experience with elders, right? You've certainly met a few. He's not the first one you've, the Atalani that you've met, but you don't have much experience with this. So we'll say that it is. It's harder than average. I would say it's difficult. So we'll say it's not impossible though. So we'll say it's a 19, which is pretty difficult. So what you need to do is you need to make an occult magic roll, and get a 20 or higher.
Okay.
Tower, 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 tower.
Mhm.
Underwood. So Tower.
Your. Yes. Hello.
I've given you your skill challenge. It's a 19.
Okay, so my mental
Occult.
D10,
Yeah.
D10, arcane. So yeah, arcane D10.
I think you're looking at the old numbers because I think I sent you the new ones.
Wait. No. Those, I think, yeah, those should be the updated ones. Okay. Oh, I see the occult fucking shortcut. My bad. I'm retarded. 3D12, 3D12, and 2D6.
Okay. Sweet. Certainly within your realm of capability. Go ahead.
Loading the dice. Shit. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Alrighty, so I get a 6-sider. Thank you. I always appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yes. So you have you're sitting on a 18. The effect die in this case, from your point of view, doesn't matter much. But if you spend 1 power point, you succeed.
I do it.
Yeah, and every session you guys start with a PowerPoint anyway, and of course it does accrue. So, but everyone gets +1 as soon as we started streaming here. So he succeeds in being able to offer you his magical essence. So now what we need from you is to do something that you are no way built to do, right?
Okay.
Because you're not that kind of elder, right? However, you do understand the process of it, right? So I'm going to give you exactly the same challenge rating I gave him, 19.
Okay, so I will use my occult, my specialty, my mental, and my distinction.
Whichever one is occult based, yeah.
And since, oh, sorry, I was going to say, since Tower's, would Tower technically be considered assisting him?
No.
Okay.
No. Tower is a vessel.
I'm a vessel. My body is a temple.
Daddy puts Tootsie Rolls in.
This is going to be
yes, man.
A difficult roll for me because I got
it is
only
a difficult roll. It is
2d12 and 2d8.
Because you're not a magic based character, I upped it 1. So if for instance it was a reverse and Tower was making this roll, it would be a challenge rating 15. But I gave you an additional level of difficulty because of that. All right, so it's not a horrible roll. You don't give me anything. You are looking at a 14, but you need a 20. Now, there are a couple options here depending on the PowerPoint you have. So, spending a single PowerPoint and succeeding isn't going to work in this case. If you have a hero dice, of course, you could roll that, but let's not get past the PowerPoint stage so quickly. If you do spend 2 PowerPoints, you can re-roll that D12. That is an option. And then if you had an additional one, you might be able to add whatever that is, or the 6 or whatever, to get to that 20. So you're looking at 2 to 3 PowerPoints to potentially succeed. Or if you don't want to do that and you have a hero dice, you could just go that route. You're sitting at a 14 right now. You need 20.
You can do it. I believe in you.
I think I have 5 hero dice. I think I will try to use 1.
Okay.
Can I give him hero
right.
dice?
I don't think that's how it works, but
Oh no, I remember giving out a lot of hero dice last time.
no, I
Can
don't.
I
think.
give him one, like player to player?
No, you can't do that. No, you can't.
And then I'll
Okay.
spend my PowerPoint.
And you
Yes, to
spend a
16.
PowerPoint. So that right there puts us at a 19, however. You're not at 20. So you would have to spend 2 PowerPoints to succeed at this.
That's fine.
Okay, so you spend 2 PowerPoints and a hero dice, and you get it successfully, which makes sense because this is not something you normally do, right? But
Right.
it's important. So you're working and you're starting to get some imageries in your head, and you're trying to focus on where is Sidon, and you can begin to feel his presence. Let me jump back over the other two. You guys are doing research. Paul still hasn't come back with anything because that little thing we just did with dice rolling actually took a good 30 minutes of preparation, right? That wasn't an instant thing. And you guys been working on it. Paul still has nothing for you particularly useful. And you guys are going through. So let's do a research roll for both of you. And a research roll. So what skill would fall under that, I think? Just know, maybe?
Or notice, because I mean we are searching.
Yeah, and you're looking for a particular name. You're not actually researching a topic. So yeah, notice would work. Either know or notice would be the skill being used, and this is it's not that hard. You're going through a bunch of stuff. If we want to just take all day doing it, I will. I could lower the number, but I will say because speed is of the essence, we'll make it a challenge rating 15.
Okay, and lady, would you like to assist me with my roll and give me an extra d6, or do you think we should just do separate rolls?
No, that's not a bad idea.
You do. I'll assist.
Okay, so a d10, 2d8, and a d6. I got my dice. 10, 2d8, and a d6. Not the worst roll, but I'm definitely gonna. What did you say I had to hit?
15.
Okay, so I've got a 13, and I'll spend 1 point to add that 3.
Sure. So you guys are quickly going through just looking for the name Eudora, and you're able to find 3 references to it in that 30-minute period. One of them is in the moleskin that you're holding, right? The other 2 are in other things. One is on the desk, and the other was in one of the ledgers that Lady was looking at. And all of these references are as follow. In the moleskin, it says Eudora might be behind this, and it's in reference to a body that was found, and he found no connection to Sidon with it, because you see as you're looking through here, he has a relationship with the police, and anytime a body is found, he goes out to every one of them. But they're not all Sidon related, obviously, right? But seems to think that Eudora might be connected to this one. And that's the only reference you find. It's just that. And the body in question is that of a young man, a high school athlete that was found with several various bodily organs missing. Right. Another reference you find in the ledger is that I've become aware, and this is from 17 years ago. Okay. Um,
Oh.
and I've become aware of a witch in our presence. I should keep an eye on her. They say her name is Eudora. And the third reference that you find was actually sitting on the desk, and it has a list of witches in the area. There are 6, oddly enough, and one of them is named Eudora.
Oh, so we know that she's in Little Rock.
Yep.
Okay, well that should make it easier for Paul to search her. To maybe find her information if we can narrow it down specifically to Little Rock.
Yep. And
Give Paul a new reference.
Sure. And Paul comes up with 7 people in the entirety of Little Rock who have the name Eudora.
Okay, well, I mean, we're connected to an Umbral database. Do any of them have any connections with Umbral activity?
Not that Paul is popping. No.
Okay.
It's local, but there's 6 witches on this list.
6.
All of them have Eudora in their name.
Nope.
No, just the one.
One is named Eudora. There's a Hezekiah. There's a Goliath. Just give me a minute and I'll name them all, I suppose. But it seems to be 4 women and 2 men.
Do we have any? If we run the names through Paul, do we have any information on any of them? Because people know each other.
Hezekiah comes up as being a person of interest in various occult activities in Missouri.
Okay, but we don't have any specific location on his whereabouts.
No, you actually have his address.
His address. Well, that's not one for Eudora.
And he is here in Little Rock.
Well, I mean, people sometimes know each other in these circles. It wouldn't be surprising. So at least it's a possible lead.
Sure.
It's something we could utilize.
Check one up.
Anyone else?
No.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, nothing is popping for you. No. And it didn't seem that Palatine had any of that information either. Well, at least in the initial research, there's still literally a couple hundred books, notebooks and ledgers and things like that you haven't looked through yet. So
that's true. Does he have a cell phone on him?
No, he does not.
Okay. So he doesn't have an address book anywhere either?
There's a Rolodex on the an old-fashioned Rolodex sitting on his desk.
Well, I'll flip through it if I haven't already.
I'm assuming you had. Yeah.
Yeah, that probably seems like it'd be an obvious first go, but
You do go back and check the Hezekiah name though, and it is in there. So you have a second acknowledgement of his address in the Rolodex. Paul has it, and the Rolodex has it. So this Hezekiah guy, he seems to have known him. And possibly with now you have a name, you might be able to research a little bit more. But whilst you guys wonder, let me go back over the other side. So you two you have Underwood is in meditation, and we have I forget the name. Puffin, what's your character's name again?
Jaro.
Oh, Jaro, that's right. And Jaro is siphoning or focusing Underwood's magic on this dead body. And you are getting feelings of Sidon being near you. So he is somewhere in Little Rock. Or at least somewhere in that in a nearby area. And you're trying to focus on it. You're trying to get information, and you get attacked. So let me go ahead and make my roll. Let me.
By what?
I'm going to
Arkansans?
I'm going to get to it.
Don't worry, you guys. These Arcadians are pretty weak.
Oh yeah, they're super weak. Let's see how I. Oh, let's try this like that. Okay. Okay. This is a mental attack, of course, not a physical one. And I scored a 21 with a D12 kicker. So you need to beat me in a mental combat, meaning we're not using physical, we're using mental resistance. Any kind of distinction it applies. Occult would probably be your strongest number. And anything is any asset you have to defend yourself. I'm sitting on a 21. Oh,
Okay.
excuse me, a 19. Sorry.
Okay.
So you need a
I will
20.
hinder my physical um to get a PowerPoint so that or hinder my social, whatever I need to do. Just if I'm fighting, I might as well get something out of it. I'll use
True.
Indomitable, Occult, Otherworldly Knowledge, and my mental. I'll use mental and distinction because I have Tactician and I have Shaman. So
Shaman probably a
Whichever.
better choice. Yeah.
Yeah.
so D8, 12. Oh gosh. Let's see if I have anything else besides just 3 dice. Oh no, that'd be if I use both. That'd be 2d8. Oh boy. Do I have anything else that can help me here? I am not a brain fighter.
No, that's okay.
I am a mind swing good.
Hmm.
All right, let's see how bad I get.
Well, it's not bad because it's successful. However, I
Oh,
do use this. I use a PowerPoint, and therefore we are now looking at a 26 on my side, whereas you
so
have a 20.
so if I spend a PowerPoint and I tie you by adding that
Not good enough.
6.
No, well, no, he'd be a 28, wouldn't he? You said
No,
26.
no, he would be 26, whereas I am at a 26, and he would
Oh yeah,
tie
that's
me,
right. That's right.
and
My
therefore
bad.
that's not good enough. You have to get above me, dude.
Uh,
Oh yeah. Right.
well, let's see here.
You can do it.
I guess I have to spend. I don't have anything PowerPoint wise that could help me in this, so I guess I have to spend a hero dice on this.
Well, you don't necessarily. Well, you'd still have to spend a PowerPoint to use it, though.
Well, yeah, but I'm getting one, so after
Oh,
this,
okay.
so I'll net neutral.
But
Uh,
there's also an option too, as well.
what is
You
that?
can force a reroll.
You can. You can.
Um,
You're allowed to reroll. If you fail, I'm going to give you a PowerPoint, right? Anytime you guys fail, you get a PowerPoint, right? Because
all
this
right.
is a challenged roll, not a skill roll. I am rolling dice, right? Therefore, you can roll again. So you can do that. You forfeit the PowerPoint you would get. My dice roll doesn't change.
Okay. How
It
do
stays right
I?
where it is. Just roll again.
It might be hard though. Might not even.
All right.
But you
So
could try.
hold on. I need to do math. So I'd be going up to 9. I'd spend 2, so I'd be at 7. And then if I get one, if I fail, just net neutral. Okay, cool. Thank you. So I re-roll the other D12 and hope for the best, right?
You use a hero dice. You said. Is that what you're doing?
Oh no, I'm forcing I'm re-rolling
Oh,
my
so just
D12.
re-roll all
Oh
your
no.
dice. No. Re-roll
Oh,
all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't change. I'm sitting on 26. So that's your number you're looking at. So, but you can re-roll your dice again if you choose. But you do forfeit
Uh,
the PowerPoint that you would get.
Oh, then I thought he was saying something about re-rolling a dice.
You can do that. That costs 2 PowerPoints to do that. But I don't know that your numbers are pretty high there. And honestly, you can have a re-roll for free. You get one.
Oh,
And that,
okay.
but that's
So,
everything gets re-rolled.
oh,
yeah.
okay. I'm going to. I'll just use the PowerPoint that I would have gained to use one of the hero dice I have. Hope for the
Okay,
best.
go ahead.
Oh, that's really
That's
good.
not bad. So you're looking at a 30, and I have I'm sitting on a 26. So I will simply spend another PowerPoint and put myself at a 31.
I'm wrong.
Oh well, but he already added that extra dice, so he was at 26, and now he's 36. Remember?
No, he didn't. He said he spent his PowerPoint to use the hero dice.
See, I don't understand this because I
Okay.
say that I want to add a dice, and then you say I can't add the dice, and
Let's back up for a
so
second.
Yeah.
Okay. So, how many PowerPoints are you sitting on right now?
I'm sitting on 8.
Okay. Oh, so you have plenty. Okay. So, when it comes to the dice, you have some options, right? When you make your roll, you can spend PowerPoints at that moment. Once we go past that, you can't spend PowerPoints again. You have to use hero dice. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But when you use PowerPoints, you can do several things. You can use things if I roll a 1, you can use something in the environment to try to help you to add a dice to your roll by spending PowerPoint. You can re-roll a dice, one of your dice for 2 PowerPoints. Technically, you re-roll 2 for 4 if you wanted. You can add a dice by using 1 PowerPoint, because we only take 2, right? But say you wanted to add a third, which you just did, and therefore that adds that dice to the pool. You could spend another PowerPoint and do it again, right? Depending on how many dice you have. You also have the option in contested rolling to roll again. My dice don't change; it stays exactly what it is, but you get the roll. You do waste all those PowerPoints you just spent in hopes of if you spent them in hopes of getting a higher roll. In this situation, you rolled high on all your dice, so it's not really a smart idea, I think. But you can do that because if that is an option. If you choose not to do that option, you do get a PowerPoint though as a consolation prize. Or we can go past all of that and just roll a hero dice, which you just did, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, seeing as you have plenty, you could easily spend that PowerPoint, bring it up to tie me, and then you spent another PowerPoint, so we spent 2 to
Okay,
add that
spend 10.
10. So now you're sitting at what is the total? 36. You're sitting at 36. I am sitting on a 26. So I have to somehow come up with 10. Now I can add that die to bring myself up to a 31, which I do. And then I'm going to roll a hero dice myself to see if I can't get an additional 4 points to potentially tie you and therefore, maybe beat you. So that's what I'm going to do. So you're sitting at a 36, I'm sitting at a 31, and I'm going to use one of my 8-siders and I'm going to use it as a hero dice. Okay. And I rolled exactly what I needed, so I'm sitting tied with
At
you.
a 35,
Oh no,
you had a
I'm one
31.
below. So I'm one
Yeah.
below. So let's see here. I will add another one. All right, so I am sitting on a 39 right now, and I've spent 2 8-siders to do that. So you have an option. It's back to you now. You can let it
Okay.
go and be done with it, or you can add more. We're in hero dice territory, so you can either let it go, or you can add another hero dice to keep trying to push this combat that's going on right now. Everyone in the room, you're hearing these kind of stress sounds coming out of Jaro. Underwood Tower, you're kind of in a trance right now, so you're not aware of what's going on. But the other people in the room can see that Jaro is something's going on. Something's going on. He's in some. There's something happening. You are in mental combat with Sidon.
I will not give in to this man, and I will spend my hero dice to defy him, as I have for centuries.
Fair enough.
That's just what he would do.
No, it makes sense. It makes sense. All right.
And I roll terribly.
Okay, so you were at 36, I was at 39, so you're now at 37, you're still losing.
Yep.
Can you spend a PowerPoint to reroll a hero dice or no?
Because
I'm not sure about that. We haven't
it would be
tried that
2,
before.
not 1. He just spent a PowerPoint to use the hero dice. So, so far you've spent 1, 2, 3. You've spent 3 PowerPoints. So you have 5 left. Just keeping track of your resources, please. But I don't know. We haven't done that before. I would.
Yeah.
I don't know, because it says in the rules that once you're past the initial roll, PowerPoints are done.
Okay,
So I
so
would say no.
well, since I am getting 1 back, if I spend one last dice, I'll be back at 5, which I started with at the beginning of last session. So I'll fight Sidon and hopefully win against him this time.
Okay.
I've used almost all my hero dice, so I still have 1 left after this.
Okay. It's a bit. Yeah, this takes you to a 41, and I have a 39. He's not giving up either. So
42, right?
I have a
You just added
39. You
4.
have a 41. So you are beating me. But
Okay.
he's going to use. I'm going to use one of my 10-siders. And jest. I'm now
Ooh.
sitting on a 42. You're sitting on a 41. I'm winning
And
again.
I think that was your last one, right?
No, I have 1 last hero dice, and I'm going to use it.
Okay. It's a good battle.
There's something wrong with him.
No, it's tensing up. He's
We
sweating.
hear him making noise.
Oh, you bastard! All right, so you're sitting on a 52, and I'm on a 42. So you got me beat by 10. I have a PowerPoint left, but I have 1 10-sider, and I'd have to roll it perfectly to beat you.
Do it.
No, I don't know if I want to waste
Go
it.
for it. It'd be entertaining.
It would be an entertaining roll, but no, I'm going to concede. So you're able to push past Sidon and win, and therefore this is what you see. Okay. Let me bring it back over so I can show the visual. First thing you see brightly in your mind, Jaro, is this image.
Of course, the gates of hell.
And then you see Sidon himself. Now you notice that because you know what he really looks like. That he is a shapeshifter, so he can take any form he wants. Keep in mind, one of his more modern names that people know is Loki. Right? This is the god of mischief. You notice that he looks frail. You've never seen him look because this is his true self. Who knows what kind of skin he's wearing at this particular moment, but you're seeing his true self, right? He looks frail and unhealthy, actually. But you do see him, and then he kind of screams mentally at you, and the last image you get before everything is disconnected is this.
Okay.
That's where he's at. That looks like Little Rock, Arkansas.
It actually
or Detroit.
is. I found it in an internet search. Yeah.
Okay, so you've seen him. That means we can go.
No, it doesn't. He doesn't know where that is.
Well, if he has a mental picture of the place,
building, yes, he can.
Yes,
Actually,
he can.
Tower can't.
Well, Tower can't, but that's okay. He could use Sidon's Fulcrum as well. It's not just Tower that can use
it. Yeah.
Is he going to go by himself? Or is he taking everybody with him?
I'll take everyone with me if I can.
Okay.
No party splitting.
He stands up, sweating, and he looks very, very, very focused as he opens his eyes. You do notice something very odd as he stands up, though. The girl that's on the ground, her dead body, is smoldering.
Open the window, smoke out.
Open the window. I think it's some air.
Our extinguisher.
Okay, what do you guys go?
Put all the generals in a backpack.
Actually, what would be even funnier, I turn a Tootsie Roll into a can of Febreze and then throw it at it, which then explodes.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
As I'm trying to put it out.
I look over at Puffin. Hey, you look like you just saw a ghost.
I saw a Sidon and where he is.
Well, we should stop doing what we're doing and head that way.
How much
Everybody ready
damage
to
do I
go?
take?
You don't take any.
Oh. Okay. We put the fire out?
It's not a fire.
Yeah.
It's just smoldering, but
It's
that
just
can
smoldering.
cause fire.
Yes, because that was the conduit between which the fight was taking place.
Okay.
Okay, what are you
All
guys
right.
doing?
Let's go. We don't have
Gather
no
together,
reason to waste time.
gird our loins for battle.
Don't give them a chance to flee. So
Okay.
Yep.
You guys, you hand the Remdar step to Jaro, and you all join hands as usual. And you guys, he goes to where he saw, and boom, you're standing outside this building, which is in Little Rock, Arkansas. By the way, this is an actual building from there.
Probably abandoned building by the looks of it.
Yeah, well,
Or somebody's garage.
a lot of these American cities aren't looking so good these days, if you haven't
Nope.
noticed.
Mm-hmm.
okay. Lady, just have your have the eye out and keep a scan.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. Watching the phone.
Well, it's built
And
into
Tower,
the phone. That's true.
yeah, Tower. I recommend having your super senses going just in case he tries to flee or something.
I'm gonna put my super senses up too, with my gargles.
Oh,
Okay.
good point.
Using PowerPoint.
Okay.
I want to check those
Yep.
front doors to see
And
if they're locked.
shield. So
All
it's
right.
two
So
PowerPoint.
you go to check the front doors. They are locked. There's a padlock on it. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna rip the padlock off and open the door.
Okay. In front of you is a looks like it was some kind of mechanic shop in the past.
I'll spend a PowerPoint to put up my decoy up ahead of us.
Okay.
I'm really
And-
tempted. I'm thinking Jiro may not be the brightest. He's intelligent, but after that battle, he may just start calling out to him. It's like, coward.
Okay.
The
You're
reckoning has
trying to
come.
bait him. As he's doing this, and you guys are just looking at what looks like an abandoned mechanic shop. Lady, your phone is
Yes.
working. In the back of the shop, there is a doorway that looks like it's leading into an office. You can actually see the office. It's one of those ones that has windows that are looking out onto the workshop. They're broken,
Yeah.
of course. But your eye is noticing that door doesn't look like it does in real life. Matter of fact, that door looks like this.
That door looks really creepy. I call it a dimensional door with the cat on top or something like that.
That's
whatever
the
that symbol
door I
is.
saw in the vision. Our
I'll,
quarry is behind that door.
He's
Everyone
not
be
here.
ready.
He's over there.
Pulling out the axes.
Okay.
Let's approach the door.
All right. Approach the door. Now, for every sorry about that.
All right, there.
I'm fine. Finish the cigarette before speaking. Basic, biology. But for everybody else, the door looks just like a normal kind of busted up door to an old abandoned office. But for
I showed
Lady,
him on the phone.
through her phone, it looks like this. And you're standing in front of the door. What do you do?
I'm going to. Well, is the decoy still there?
Yeah, the decoy is still there. Although he's an illusion, so he can't.
Okay, then I'm going to open the door.
And I'll have the decoy walk.
I'm going to kick it open.
No effect.
Okay. Then
doesn't it have to be done with magic? Let him see the picture in the thing. Like, is there? I can't tell if there's like keyholes in it or something like that.
Perhaps Excalibur can have more luck.
Step out of the way.
Step
Show
out of the way.
Tower the picture on the phone. Right down the
Okay.
middle.
You want to swing at it with the sword? I mean, you haven't got a chance to really use the sword yet.
Yeah, I pull the sword out, Chester. Right?
Hmm.
Does it glow or anything?
It does.
Looks like
Oh,
it's
that's
a
fucking badass. Okay. So, in that case, I pull out a Tootsie Roll, turn into a pair of aviators that are like chrome look, put them on my face. And I'm like, you're going down, demon door. And then I take this big ass sword and I thrust the shit out of it directly into the door.
A pulse of energy ripples off the door. Everybody here takes a D10 stress.
Awesome. This is
Okay.
working out well.
I had my
I-
shield up.
I
Now,
look back.
No.
I like pump my fist. I'm like, should I do it again, guys?
No, oh no, I wouldn't take a D10 stress because I have a D12 armor. Okay, nah, that's
He told me
all right.
no on my armor.
well,
you
no,
have
I
it?
did not. I said everyone takes a D10 stress. If you have armor or something that protects you versus
Okay.
something, then you wouldn't. GOP certainly doesn't. You didn't say your TK was up, so I would assume you do take it. With the Tower, that instantly goes away because he's holding Excalibur. And Jaro, I don't know
Okay.
the time period on his, but that probably go away pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm
It's-
gonna examine the door.
Well, it looks like a busted up a door. Are you going to look through her thing, Mimir's eye?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
yeah.
And you look at the door and you see it's got a bunch of hellish things on it. There seems to be some story here about the fall of the great dragon is what it looks like.
Oh, is it a language I can read or?
There is no language. There are no words.
Oh,
Does the
okay.
door need blood to open?
Is I probably wouldn't have any knowledge on the lore, but I'm sure Puffin or Tower might have knowledge on what's being depicted and what it might mean.
Sure.
If this is given,
I
some kind of.
This isn't that obscure for either one of them. I give you a standard roll, an 11 challenge rating.
I will roll it.
Okay.
So this would be occult and other things, right?
Sure. And to be honest, in this situation, a bit of a game mechanic, Puffin. What I would do is you should assist Tower because that gives him another D6 on his roll because he's way better at this than you are. Well, maybe not necessarily. What is your dice on this roll, Puffin?
My occult is a D12. My otherworldly knowledge is a D12, and
Oh,
my mental is a
Oh
D8.
wow.
so you have more than he does. Okay, so it reverse that.
Um,
Tower, assist him.
yeah.
Let's see.
Tower's Umbral would
Is this
be.
a roll where I can hinder myself? Or is that
Um,
I
only
would.
battle?
You could, but yeah, you could, sure. But it's not a
Hinder
hard
myself.
roll. It's a pretty easy roll.
That's true.
I'm sorry, I was having issues getting the unmute thing to work.
So do I get a D6 for him helping me?
Yes, he's helping you. You
Okay.
get an additional D6. It makes sense though. He is an elder that he has, especially knowledge rolls. It makes a lot of sense actually. So, all right. So let's see here. Well, I get a PowerPoint. Thank you very much, sir.
Welcome.
And you succeed. Okay. Um, Between the two of you looking at it, you know that this is simply a warded gate to a veil space. So this is going to lead out of the mortal coil into the veil itself. Usually these things are used to block or to gain entrance into little pocket veils, little ones. It's something both of you have seen before. Matter of fact, the other two have probably studied it during their 10 years of education. It's not that that's not that abnormal a thing. The problem is how do you unlock it? Because that is unique to the creator. So it's
I
not
would.
it's not a strange thing, but this knowledge doesn't help you because what is the unlocking mechanism? That you don't know. These things are not particularly uncommon, but they are
Maybe,
very, very effective, though.
maybe like the sword that requires me to sacrifice an orphan. We
It
could
could
try
Well, we
that
be.
don't.
next.
It could be
We don't.
anything like that. Yeah, it could be anything like that. Yeah.
I
What
think
I
that the witch or the person that was talked of probably knows how to open the door. I say that one or more of us should probably wait here. If this is the only way Sidon has out of his realm, he won't have a chance to kill if we're waiting for him.
Well, there is another option too, and we already established back when the demons attacked the London office that tower has the ability to dispel certain magic
Yes,
because
I'm doing that good.
yeah, if you recall, Chester, you were saying
Yes,
that if
I
he had
know, but he
stumbled,
ain't dispelling
yeah.
this.
Okay,
It's a
well, I didn't know
physical.
if
It's
he
a
would.
physical ward. He is not dispelling this. No.
Oh, okay, I didn't
Like I
know if he
said,
could have.
these things are used by higher level wizards for sure. But there, it's not like I said, it's not a unique thing or this woohoo magic, but it is. They are super effective. That's why they're used.
All right, I wasn't sure. Um, okay, what do we want to do then? What's the
I
plan?
must stay here and wait for the wolf if he decides to hunt. When I saw him, he was emaciated, weak.
Party splitting. This is gonna go very well. We
Fuck.
just talked about how bad of an idea this is,
All
but
of us are gonna die.
I get why. I
My
get why you want to do it.
my fingers are
Yeah.
twiddling.
I know. I know you're excited.
Don't do it,
Okay.
Puff. For fuck's sakes.
All right. Well, he wants to stay. You know what? We'll take that. We'll take the chance. I know it's gonna go poorly.
Let
we have a
Lady
way?
stay because we know she can survive getting annihilated from staying behind. She's done it before.
Okay,
We
just keep comms open with us, there, Jaro.
do
Just
we have a way of observing this area when we are not here? A camera of some sort?
You do?
I mean, there's yeah,
Is there
but
a
yeah, Paul.
Does
Or we could
anybody
just.
else have another phone?
I mean,
We
I
can
have.
set it up as a spy camera and connect it to Paul.
Yeah, you guys
We
could
could.
pop into the headquarters. You do have Ramdar Step literally in your pocket. You could jump back to the Boston headquarters, pick up a surveillance camera, or even a team.
Hey, that's a good idea.
Yeah, that's
More people
brilliant.
killed.
Yay, the GM gets an experience point.
Good
Okay.
shit, Chester. How are we supposed to know those muggles could help us?
What are you talking
All right.
about? Use the resources you have, man.
Well,
I
normally in the past, you told
terrible
us
at
we couldn't use
research.
teams, so that's why. But it's
Yeah,
okay.
Well, it depends on the
terrible at research.
situation, and you didn't have Ramdar Step either.
True. And plus, it's not like they can go anywhere, without Remdar
Without
Slip right now because
us.
teleportation's down. So, okay, I look over at Jarl like, you good chilling here for a few minutes while we go get this settled.
I'll pull out both the axes and stand in a ready position.
All right.
All
So,
right.
Watch your back.
he's standing guard. Is anyone staying with him?
Well, we're just going. You know what? I mean, I'll just
Only
take
one of us
take
go. You're
Lady.
going directly to the office.
Yeah, we're just going to the office. Yeah. You know what? Well, no, Lady, come with me just in case. Well, just in
Okay.
case something weird happens. All right. So I'll go with Lady and back to the office.
Okay.
I'll just teleport right into Antoine's office. I know it's terrible etiquette, but we're in a hurry.
Okay. Antoine is in there with a couple of interns, and they're going over paperwork. And he looks up instantly as you enter the room. The other ones don't seem to notice you're there because Ramdar's step doesn't make any noise particularly, right? But
Mm-hmm.
he's aware that you've arrived. He looks up and he says, "How's it going?"
You have any spare assault teams you can lend to us? I kind of give him a quick rundown of what's going on.
Stop for a moment. What is it you need?
I just said, you have
Door
any
open,
assault
guys.
teams? Well,
Is
I
that
mean,
why you're
first I'm going to
here?
ask you.
Yes, we
Well,
need you to send people to help us open this big bloody door.
That is
That
not
no,
why you're there. That is not
that's
why you're
no.
there.
Oh,
Oh,
well, I was first asking if he has anyone he could spare to watch the door as our team goes and does uh, this
team lead.
because it's
Oh, that's a
important
different question.
that he doesn't
Yeah,
get out.
he certainly
Yeah.
does. Yes.
Okay. And I'm asking him if he can loan us some people to do that. Is what I was asking
Oh,
essentially.
I see.
Uh,
Okay. Yeah, no, he immediately gets on the phone and he makes a
I
call.
tell him who might come through the door.
well,
Therefore,
no, I
he's
already
aware
told
of
you.
He
the
he
threat.
as soon as
Okay.
you get the sigh out of your mouth, he raises his hand to
Okay. Okay.
you. This is a kind of ultra secret mission you're on, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, no, he puts a team together within 10 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. So you guys all hold hands with the team, and this is a team of this strike team of 18 people, and they have all the equipment they need, surveillance, everything a strike team would have. And boom, you're back to within 15 minutes. You're back to the door inside the little broken building. Nothing happens whilst they are gone.
Okay.
So,
Well, on to the next one.
so you guys are back here, and these
All right.
guys immediately go into action. They're from the enforcement division. Matter of fact, Sims himself has come on with this. So Sims is here, which is a guy that they know from before. So I don't think Tower ever met him. Puffin certainly hasn't, but Sims is here leading the team himself. So these guys do the thing, set up the cameras, and they have secured this building without question.
All right. Well, we have an address for Hezekiah. So we should head there next. Okay. I'm assuming we could get a Google Street View or something, to get an image of the place to go there. I'm assuming.
Sure.
Yeah. So.
Yep.
Oh,
No,
Our street camera.
it's an apartment. An apartment. It's one of these little buildings here in the downtown. The bottom floor has a bunch of shops, and one of those shops is Occult Goods and Books. And this
we're
is
gonna pop
owned
up
by
in the alley.
Hezekiah. Well, this
Oh,
is
is
in downtown. There's not really an alley.
Okay, the nearest place that we can kind of go that's not going to be just popping up in the middle of the street is what I'm saying.
All right. Well,
is there?
there's a park nearby. You guys are looking. Let's say it's that brown building right here in the middle.
Can we?
Okay.
Let's see here.
There's a park right there.
There is.
Okay.
Here's the park.
Yeah, just find some place that's not likely to have people.
All right. So you guys pop into a copse of trees right there near the bridge, and there's people going around their day. Like I said, the world is completely unaware of the absolute teetering on destruction there to where they sit. And you walk up and you cross the street and you come in front of Hezekiah's, the occult accessories and books.
All right, we're gonna go in.
All right. It's a very small shop. Many of the shops on this row are like little restaurants or little things like that. This one's like a little, weird, Wicca kind of bookstore, and it has the people inside you would assume some, girls with pink hair and all about the witches.
Okay. Do I happen? I'm assuming I would have seen a picture of him in the archives and
You
stuff.
do.
So I would.
He is an elderly man, probably in his. Oh well, you not probably. You have his information. He's 68 years old. He's rather gaunt in his visage, gray-haired, and nothing beyond that to be very interesting. He's quite normal looking.
Okay. Um. And do I? So did I see him here or no? Sorry, I
You
missed
do
if you said.
not. Mainly, you got a little cluster of Geeling High School girls, and there is a person at the counter who may be college age, another blue hair with cow rings in their noses, and the kind of things you would expect in a place like this.
Yeah. Okay. So I go up to this person. Excuse me. Is the owner here? I have some business to speak with them about. Hezekiah.
She says, "Well, no, he's not in right now. He'll probably be in later this evening. It's usually when he comes in. Would you like a soy latte?"
Oh
One
no,
that
I'm fine. That's all right. So let me think.
egg latte with soy sauce.
Do we do we have a residence? Is he living here, or is this just his
Yes,
business?
his home is above.
Okay. Let's just go knock on his door.
Okay. So you guys leave. There's a stairwell going up into the apartment areas. There's a little lift. He is on the fifth floor.
All right. Uh, yeah. I knock on his door.
No answer.
You think we should hit this door with Excalibur?
No, that's not necessary. I'm guessing the door is locked.
Yeah, this is the next day, right? So we're where we were on. So it's like a Saturday or something like that, right? It's like, I don't know. We've been doing stuff in the morning, so let's say 10 o'clock, 10:30, something like that.
Is he
He's probably a
asleep?
late sleeper. Yeah, it might be. Um, is the door locked?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Uh, could could Tower use his senses and his Tootsie Roll abilities to create a key for the door?
Why go to that extent? He could just use a cantrip and unlock it.
Oh, I didn't realize he was that obvious. Okay. Yeah.
And I also turn the lights on in the apartment.
Don't. No, don't do that.
Okay.
Okay, lights
I
are
don't.
on. Thank you. Door
Okay,
open,
lights are on. Cool.
Yes. I walk the door.
Okay.
I have Excalibur. We die like real men. Okay.
What? No, I don't think this is that situation. You can put the sword away, buddy.
Well, but keep in mind, guys, keep in mind, GOP, you can make all the stupid decisions you want. That doesn't mean that I'm going to punish you for all of them.
True, but a lot of them,
Well,
most assuredly.
I'm
Enough of
also a strong believer in not having things happen just because they can.
Fair enough. Okay. So we're walking through this apartment.
Heads up. I
Yes.
have a tornado and thunderstorms in the direction where my internet comes from. So if I go out, you know why.
All right.
It's not storming
Alright.
where I'm at, but where they're at.
It's that season. It is that season.
Yeah.
So okay, thank you for letting us know.
Okay.
You guys enter into the apartment, and it's kind of what you would expect. The information you have on this guy in Lady's file is Hezekiah is a Wicca. but he also dabbles in darker magics, black magics. He is not on any registry as being an actual mage. He is one of those that kind of is on the edge of potentially being that, right? So he doesn't have any real magic, but he does know what real magic is. So you understand what I mean? So
Mhm.
he knows the truth, but he's nothing like say Tower's character is. He's not the same thing. And as you enter into this place, it's exactly what you would expect. There's antiquities all over the place. It's quite messy, and you don't see any kind of woman involved in the place whatsoever. And you walk in, there is, like I said, it's kind of messy. It's overly packed, a little pack ratty. And as you move deeper and deeper into the apartment, which is a fairly good sized one, to be honest with you, you see no signs of anybody being here.
Mm,
I checked the fridge to see if any of the food is fresh.
Yep.
I think he's just not home. Is the
No,
point?
no, 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 no.
Or well,
What
lady,
is the
you can
condition?
always.
Hey, what is the condition of the food in the fridge, Chester?
Normal.
Lady,
Nothing's rotten or it's just like he's gone.
it's normal. I think he's just not
What
home.
Yeah, he's
But
just
lady,
have?
if you want,
I
just
take.
yes, Tower.
I just told Chester I'd just take a beer out of the fridge and start drinking it.
there is no
I
beer in the fridge.
okay.
What is it they're drinking there? Orange
Orange
Crush?
juice, veggie lattes, V8s, vegan food.
As you
Okay,
go
I
to
take
drink
the
one,
bit, turn a Tootsie Roll into a bottle of vodka, and then fill the rest of the orange juice with it and make a screwdriver.
Fair
you
enough.
could have just used a Tootsie Roll. But
Yeah,
okay.
that's okay.
Yeah, but all right, fine. I just make sure. So, lady, you are using your magical eye thing just in case he's in. Well, I obviously he's probably not, but just in case there's no one invisible
Yeah.
here or anything.
Lady,
Okay.
there are two objects in the apartment if you walk through that catch your attention. There is an African mask that is actual magic, and there's also a Baltic styled knife that is magic. Everything else in this place is fake or just mundane.
Okay, I've got an idea.
Take pictures of them and send them to
Just
the
archive
mage
them.
back in Boston.
Okay, I don't
Okay.
know why, but all right.
In case there's
Um.
something that should be put away.
All right. Well, anyways, it doesn't look like he's here, guys. Let's leave. I've got another idea we can use. All right. Anyways, so unless somebody else has something else they want to do here, I make sure to lock the door and shut it. Try and make sure, besides the drink that Tower took from the fridge, nothing else is out of place, kind of thing.
Okay.
You know?
Well, Tower can lock it just as easily as unlocking it.
Yeah. And I'm gonna head back down to the shop, and I'm going to once again talk to the lady at the desk and be like, "I'm sorry to keep bothering you like this, ma'am. You see, I happen to be a seller of a very, very rare.
Ma'am?
Uh,
Ma'am?
oh,
Excuse me,
I'm
sir.
old
She does it
school.
right back to you.
Sorry.
Yeah, I know. I know. 'Cause I do
Hmm.
like that.
Yeah, right. My apologies. I'm still getting used to the whole the way of doing things. Um, Anyways, see, I have this very particular item that I would like to show the owner of this place, who is just let it know it's a matter of urgency, and there are other buyers on lookup. But if you could give them a call, I would much appreciate it. Do I
Give
need
me a
to roll a
roll.
persuasion check? Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
not a difficult, just standard 11. Challenge rating.
Okay. Pull up my shortcuts. 2d12, d10, and I'll just do 2d8. D10, 2d8. This whole thing's still a mess. Hold on. 2d12, d10, and 2d8. Well, that was horrible, but
Sweet. I'll take it.
oh my god, that was so bad. What did you say the
11. You
difficulty was?
succeeded. You just gave me a D12.
Okay, cool.
That's all. Thank you.
I did. Wonderful. All right, cool.
And she says fine. And she pulls out her phone and she's makes a phone call. Tower, you're standing in this shop, and one of the little giddy high school girls, she comes over and she says, "It's great costume," and the other girl's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah," and she touches Excalibur.
Well, it is sheathed, right?
Son of a
She ain't
bitch.
no virgin, that's for sure.
Oh my god.
That wasn't the point, but okay.
Uh-huh.
Whatever it is.
Tower,
Hey.
Tower.
How could she tell if it was sheathed?
No, you
She
said it
can
was out.
touch the hilt.
Oh.
Oh, fucking god. Was she innocent?
Well, no, I don't think it's like that. She's not gonna. Oh, did she die from it? I don't think she would.
No. But the sword does vibrate in its sheath, though.
It's a
Fuck.
special novelty item, you know.
Oh my god, damn.
Permit you
tall
before you
is-
do that again.
I was about to be like, oh shit. I turn away. I mean, I could bring the sword out and put it above my head where she can't touch it.
No,
That'll get
I just-
everybody else's
Well,
attention.
hold on,
I
everyone, please stop. Tower. I'm talking to Tower.
Yes.
I'm not talking to everybody else. Just Tower.
Yes.
This little girl says, this little pink hair, she's got one of those cow rings in her nose. She says, "Cool costume," and she touches Excalibur. What are you going to do?
I knock her hand away from it and say, don't touch that. And I say, this ain't no costume. This the real thing right here.
How rude! And the little girls all agree.
I whip it out and make that bitch light up then.
Okay,
That's
I can I please interject here?
12-year-old.
Out
Okay.
of the store.
This is between me and this little girl. Go on, Chester.
You pull out a sword and threaten a high
Back
school
to here
kid.
now, since this is all going on around me.
The
Chester.
lady who was making a phone call for you, Tower, for GOP,
Everything went quiet.
she hangs it up and she immediately calls 911.
Using Paul to get her last number
Down.
dialed.
I was listening to this. Alakazam, the phone battery dies.
Hello?
Her phone.
Okay, her phone's dead. The girls are
GOP
panicking. They
fled.
run out of the shop screaming.
Yeah, put the Excalibur back.
Welcome back.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. My connection.
I told him I totally saved it, bro. We're good.
Oh, that's good. I was gonna apologize for you and say you were autistic.
No, I made her phone battery die so she couldn't call the cops.
She tells you, all of you, to get out of her shop immediately.
Oh, great. Full.
Don't
Okay.
be rude. Damn, what did I do to you?
Wonderful. All right,
You
fine.
know what I'd like to do? I would love someone to videotape Tower in his day, because I'm surprised he lives week to week.
What are you doing? What are you talking about?
Yes. Well, you
Jeez.
guys are
So
standing
I'm
on the
gone for
Put on
street,
five.
record.
and I'm
It
going
is
to let
put on
you
record.
think about your next move, because I'm going to go make some hot water. So you guys consult and maybe deal
It's
with
not
the 200-year-old wizard who's obsessed with Tootsie Rolls.
I turn around for 5 minutes.
those. There might be a little cheaper and long. Fools Cheetos.
Look, I'm trying to do a job here. Okay, you know. it sometimes a little decorum, might work. Just a pinch, just a smidgen every once in a while. That's all I'm saying. Right? I can't be digging people out of holes all the time.
So is
So
this
no one heard
president?
me use Paul to get the last number she dialed before he made the battery go dead, did they? Because everybody's talking over everybody else. Okay.
Yeah.
I have to say,
I
I do
wasn't here.
appreciate how easy it is for me to throw a spanner in the works.
You're
All you have to do is
welcome.
throw a tower.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
A matter of
I'm
fact,
gonna walk.
Tower, I give you a PowerPoint. Go ahead, take one.
The fucking best ever was.
Don't encourage that activity.
So you guys standing on the street, not better off. What do you do?
Did you not hear me when you didn't
No, I
hear
told you
why everyone's
I went
talking?
to put the water on. I told you.
No, before
Wait, we have
then.
tea? Is that what you're doing?
Go ahead, lady.
When she was dialing the number, I had Paul identifying the numbers for we can have that number.
Oh, after
Not
the
for
fact. After the
911.
fact role playing. I love it. What do
Well,
think,
the
Puffin?
fact that
Should I
I
allow
did
that?
say it, but
Should
you
I?
didn't hear it
Well, no,
because of everybody
Puffin's
talking
a
over
GM.
everybody else, just like we're doing right now.
Should I allow that, Puffin? What do you think?
Well,
Yes.
I did. Shush, please. I did hear her say it as you were leaving, but those two were arguing, which is understandable. This
True.
isn't a dive, but I
But
think
it's
that
after the fact that he's zapped the phone, right?
now that you say that, with the speed at which it was done, I think maybe she could have got like the first three numbers, but then it would have, gone.
Okay. So you have the general code for Little Rock.
We did get his. He was in the Rolodex. We should have his actual number. I would assume.
You do.
Probably the store number.
Yeah. So, I mean, we came here so we could pop in and interview, but if we don't have that, getting his actual number, just calling him.
It would take 2 seconds.
What else are we gonna do?
Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Very easy. Yeah. So you have his number.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because she didn't actually make the call, right? To talk to him.
Tower nixed it. He did. But I would imagine police would be on their way in one way or the other because you just literally raised the sword to 3 little high school girls that are ultra woke.
Yeah.
You think they're not going to run to the police, even though they hate police? They're going to run the police first thing. You guys are standing on the street outside this place. What do you do?
I'm leaving.
I'm walking away.
And I just inserted that it was the real deal.
No, you didn't. You pulled out the sword and threatened their lives.
Yeah.
It lit up. I'm like, look at this. It's real.
Yeah,
oh my god. No, it's too late. It's too late. We are.
So
what's happening is happening.
Which direction do you go?
Let's pop out of here, and we could head really anywhere that isn't here. Let's just go somewhere else in the city that's not here. Let's go back to the park. Doesn't matter.
Okay. So you guys go back to the copse of trees you came into the park, which is right near the bridge. So you guys are standing there. Eventually, you do hear police cars, sirens, and you can see the place from where you are. And a cop car does show up at the front of Hezekiah's occult accessories and books. You do have his number, though.
We do.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that
trace it if we got it ringing.
Okay.
We have
I'm going to assume that the cops are being called. The person who is working at the shop probably has called him now and is going to say that some people were there and give our story, that we caused it an incident because the cops are there. So I am going to call the individual and say, this is law enforcement. We heard that there was an issue at your shop, and we would like to speak with you, because that's all technically true. and basically, can you? It's urgent. Well, basically, try and get a location essentially.
Okay, so you call him up,
Mm-hmm.
and he
Tracking.
answers.
Yeah. Hello. Is this Hezekiah? Does he have a last name or no? It's just
Burns.
Hezekiah. Is this Mr. Hezekiah Burns?
Oh yeah, this is Hezekiah Burns. What can I do for you?
Yes. Are you aware that there was an incident at your establishment?
No.
Oh. Is there any way that uh, where are you currently? We have a urgent thing to speak to you about.
Well, Amber, what's going on?
Oh, it's a matter of well, it's something I'd rather not speak about over the phone, but it is an important thing that we would like
Who
to
is
discuss with
this?
you. Oh, this is I say Agent Lyons from the DOJ.
What? Oh, I'll be down in a minute.
Okay. So, does anyone have any disguise magic on them? Well, you know what? I know what I can do. I can just use my illusion thing to make myself look different and go in and talk to them.
You could.
That's what I'll do. That makes more sense now that they know. Now that they can just point us out if we go in. So I make myself look like somebody different, and I'll go in um, uh, and try and spot the guy and try and speak with him.
Okay. About 20 minutes pass, and you see an old man walking up to the front door and going in. That meets the description of that you've seen of Hezekiah, and the police have already left by now.
Mhm.
Now, lady, you are, I'm assuming, monitoring things as you usually are, and there is an APB out on a dumbass that looks just like Underwood trying to murder high school girls.
As there
Wanted for
should
Yeah,
be.
let
questioning.
him know that he's wanted. That maybe he should change his clothes or hide the sword.
You guys are back in the park in the trees, and GOP disguised heads follows the old man in. I'm assuming.
Mhm.
Okay. You go inside and you see he is talking to the clerk girl, and she's explaining the situation. And of course, you know the situation because you were there, you lived it. And he's like, "What's going on? People called me. What's happening today?" And he's got that kind of old man consternation going on. What do you do?
Um, I hold up my badge and I kind of motion towards the office, uh, so we
He's
can
like,
speak in private.
Why is the DOJ? What's going on?
Well, my voice is going to be a little bit different than it was earlier. My accent's hiding it a little bit, but it's important that we um that we have this discussion with you. There was something that occurred. We're looking for an individual, and we believe he's after someone. But
Is that the crazy
once
guy
again,
with the sword that was in here?
oh yes, we see we're looking for this individual, but he's looking for someone, and we believe you might be able to help us find this person. Can we please speak in your office?
Fine, come on. He walks to the back of the shop, and there's like a little run of stairwell that goes up, and off to the side into a very small office that is packed with books and other clutter. He makes a space for you on a chair and sits in the chair that he seemingly probably normally sits in, and he says, "Please, please have a seat. Well, tell me what's going on. Why is the DOJ here?"
There's an individual we are currently trying to track down. He's trying to find someone by the name of Eudora.
Eudora,
And
you don't want to mess with that bitch.
well, we believe that it's very important that we find her.
Yeah, well, okay, but like I'm saying, that's a dangerous one. I don't know if you government people know what you're dealing with there.
We have
Who's
experience dealing with dangerous people in the past, but we do need to find this individual.
All right then, but to be honest with you, he kind of looks sideways as if someone else would hear in the room. I really think you probably better call Dove on this one.
Oh, we know people there. I think, but they're trying to assist in whatever ways they can. But we just simply need to find this person. I'm here simply to get information on their whereabouts.
He thinks for a moment and he's well, all right, but just understand I warn you. You should get some people who specialize in these things, because she's a real nasty piece of work.
Oh, we absolutely will.
All right, and he goes through and digs through his files and he pulls out an address and gives it to you.
Thank you very much. You have a pleasant day. If if you have any other incidents, feel free to call law enforcement. I give him a polite bow.
And he's like, he seems very confused about the situation, and he, as you're leaving, he's kind of murmuring to himself, and he's writing down, you know, your name and badge number and stuff real quick for
Hmm.
his files, and he's like, "Good luck with another. Good luck with one of those Atalani."
Hmm.
what's that supposed to mean?
Well, you aren't there, but I'm like, oh, so you do you have any other information on this person before I go?
He's like, "Yeah, she's the real deal.
Care to elaborate on that?
She's a witch, a real one.
Well, uh,
Like
uh,
broomstick and all, homie?
we
You're
are
not
aware
there, Tower."
Oh,
you would be here, but you kind of, threatened some people. So,
Kinda. Yeah.
fucking with me.
mhm. um,
Well, judgy little asshole living at a proven point.
okay. Well, if there is any other information that you feel is prudent, I'd love to hear it. Otherwise, I do need to get going. But I can assure you that the individual who came by here earlier today, uh, he doesn't tend to visit the same place twice. So I think you'll be fine.
All right.
Well, thank you very much. And I bid him adieu and I leave, frustrated about the whole situation.
Of course. Well, you find yourself out under the trees. Everyone's having a picnic when you get back. Tootsie
Mhm.
Rolls.
Oh, of course.
Yes.
Um,
But you
okay,
have an
I share the
address.
information.
It's about 3.5, 4 miles from here, just outside of town.
Google Street, and let's pop in.
Okay. You guys pop over and you find yourself sitting in front of a house. Very normal house in suburbia. It seems to be proverbial stuck in the most lamest Halloween you've ever seen, however. But
Mm,
yet there it is. Nice house, a bit of a colonial restoration period. So it's an old one. But it's very mundane. Doesn't look any different than any of the other stuff on the street, really.
okay. And so considering this address and considering now that we have an address and we know exactly which Eudora, assuming that she's one of the Eudoras that's in the system at all.
It is not.
Okay, so that was just that
This
was going to lead
address
us anywhere.
is because you have Lady here and Lady looks it up. This address is accounted to a Theodore Collins.
Okay, and we have no. He doesn't seem like anyone of interest, or he
She
might just
could
be
be
a
the
hater.
lover.
Doesn't pop up. No, it doesn't hit any of your databases. No, at least from
Okay. All right. Well, we assume that none of these people on the list have any priors, anyways. So she's not really wanted for a crime. So she may not have
She
a reason to
seems to
run. We don't
not
know.
exist.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. Let's go to the door then.
All right, you guys stand in the front
I'd
door.
rather not have 5 strangers coming up to the door.
5?
But okay.
Are there 5 of us?
Or did you go by yourself?
I thought there were only 4 of you.
There are 4 of us.
I could turn a Tootsie Roll into a dog, and then we could have a 5th.
Fair enough. Doesn't matter.
That's
Doesn't
good.
matter. Stay focused. Stay on course.
Mm-hmm.
You guys
Okay.
knock on the door. You ring the bell. It's got a doorbell, and you can hear a very small voice behind the door saying, "Yes, how can I help you?"
Yes. I'm looking for someone. Just no trouble, but we do need to speak with them. Is there a Eudora here?
The door transforms from the standard little street door you see right here into a black door. And the black door has a giant eye in it that is looking around at you, and it's aglow. And it says, "Oh, where are you from?"
I hold up the DOJ badge.
Dove.
That looks like a mansion.
I see. Well, what would Dove want here?
Your door.
Well, we're looking for somebody else actually, and we're well, I basically, because I mean they're already talking to me anyways. We found a doorway to get to a certain dimension owned by or well appears to be run by what's the guy's name again? I'm brain farting.
Sidon.
Sidon.
What was the gentleman's name in the church? The one that died.
Palatine.
Palatine.
Well, we should probably mention. It's like, did you know a Mr. Palatine?
Yeah, that's a good point. I do bring up Palatine. Are you familiar with the Mr. Palatine? What's his last name? It's Palatine. Oakale. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, Alkali. He says, "Of course, he is the minder."
He has unfortunately met his demise.
I know.
I'm sure you do. So do you have any idea why we're here?
I'm imagining you wish to speak to Madame Eudora.
Indeed.
Yes.
Oh, very well. I don't think you'll have much success, but come on in. He opens the door, and this door transforms back to the normal-looking door as it opens. In front of you, you see a very normal-looking house, exactly what you would expect in this side of this building. However, the person that is greeting you now, keep in mind, you guys are all Umbral in one way or another. We got a couple of tethered here. We have a wizard. We have an actual demon as well, an elder demon. And so all of you guys have the ability, as I said before, to see the real world, to see the world as it is presented and the real world as it exists. And this guy, of course, you can shift between those visions. It seems like a very small, dainty, wistly man. But in actuality, he looks like this. And he introduces himself. He says, "I am Pippin Lamdashane. Welcome." And he walks in and he kind of points to a room that's like a lounge. He says, have a seat, have a seat. And he disappears into another room.
All right. Well, I take a seat.
Okay. He comes out quite quickly, and he's got a tray of tea. He sets it down and he starts serving everyone tea, and then he hops up quite effortlessly into a chair because he is a kobold. You all know what he is. Once again, it's just another type of demon, right? And a way of doing, an ancient way of doing. You don't see these very much outside of the veil itself. And he's got his little cup of tea and he's sitting there sipping on it, and he says, "It's good. You should try."
Oh, I just had a huge lunch. I'm pretty full, but I appreciate the offer.
I will take the tea.
Any manner of stress you had upon you is gone.
Good.
I think you had,
Almost like crack
well, by
soup.
this point, you probably didn't have any actually, because you have a healing factor.
Yeah.
But it is good tea. It's very tasty, and it's actually will heal you.
Can I have some to go?
He's like, he looks at you sideways and says, "Of course not. Take the gifts that are given. Do not ask for extra."
Seems like the customs haven't changed in thousands.
Of course not. It
If
is
it's
rare
not
for me to
broken,
see another Atalani.
yeah, yes, we don't get around very often.
No. Do you know Eudora?
I may have met her in passing, but I was always on the front lines, not so much in the tactics tents or other realms of supernatural power. They
Oh,
always used me like a hammer. I wasn't the hand.
oh, fair enough. You must be Jaro then.
Yes, sir.
It is an honor to meet you.
I will bow slightly.
He does the same.
Anyone of courtesy and kindness is honorable in their own right. I thank you.
And he says that, so what's this all about then? You mentioned Sidon.
We, do I think in character that I could tell him what is going on?
He is a kobold. They are ancients and they are collectors of wisdom.
I'm gonna say that Jaro would think that he could probably share some information, but he's also a little bit well, he was working with the other guy. He was a little bit suspicious that the dude would know about Sidon so clearly, but being ancient, there's no way he wouldn't. So
Yeah, no, these kobolds are very old. They don't make these kind of things anymore. Keep in mind, all the demons are different, different ceremonies to reconnect the spirit to some form of body, right? They haven't. This is one. It's gone out of style, you know, since Egyptian times. They are, so anyone you run into these, are going to be old. And another thing with these guys, these are librarians. They're lore people. Their whole purpose in life is to catalog information.
I so I'm kind of wanting to say something that would be appropriate because it's supposed to be a secret mission, but
Well, he already mentioned Sidon. It's kind of out of the
yeah,
bag, isn't it?
yeah. So I am here tasked to end Sidon's reign of terror.
Well, that would be a good thing. Lady, I'm assuming you're doing what you always do,
Yep.
and you have used Paul and looked up Pippin Lamdeshane. He is in the registry.
Okay. And he looks like he looks, right?
Yep, and he is from the Osirian house. He is registered as being 5,820 something years old, and there's nothing in there negative about him. He's just one of the Cobalt librarians, but he is in your registry. Anyway, continue, Jarl.
Yes, we have been tasked to defeat a much greater threat and have one of Sidon's tools but his ability to cause chaos is too much of a variable. He must be removed for the good of the world and all that dwell in it.
I would agree. And of course, I'm assuming you're speaking of Raoul.
Yes.
Yes. Well, there are many troubles. But then, to be fair, and he looks at you square, Jaro, you,
Mhm.
Atalani, tend to be nothing but trouble.
Indeed. And I will put the tea down very politely and put my hands on my knees. Kind of like the old warrior style of sitting.
Yeah, sure, sure.
No.
Yes. I know I've started my fair share of fires. There comes a point when you either work to put them out or you keep burning.
Fair enough. So I'm assuming you wish to get through Sidon's door.
Indeed, sir.
Yes, you will need Eudora for that. That is very true. Unless you can find some other ancient wizard to get through it, but that would take time. And I'm assuming you don't have much of that. I do notice
No,
that
sir.
Excalibur is in the room with me.
Yes, my friend's sword is rather eminent, isn't it?
It is. Now keep in mind, I can't do it, but this Pippin's voice is like that of a little kid, right?
Mhm.
And he looks like a little kid. He changes his focus over to you, Tower, and he says, "May I see it unsheathed?"
Oh, why, certainly. And I'll whip it out.
I stand back.
All right, and he does look at it in awe, and he says, "I have heard of it, of course, but I have never seen it with my own eyes."
I do the thing that makes it glow.
It kind of does that on its own, to be honest with you. But
Uh,
he bows and thanks you. He just wanted to see it. It is a legendary item. It's considered one of the greatest artifact on Earth, right?
I took his hand because he was a good sport, and then say, unlike those schoolgirls, put it back.
He kind of looks at you sideways,
Hmm.
and he looks back at
He does-
you, Jaro, because he hasn't really spoken to the other two. And he says, "This is Merzin's champion."
Yes, we live in strange times.
Hmm. Well, nevertheless, I don't need to interfere. I am simply a recorder, as you know. But
Yes, sir.
if you wish to speak with Eudora, he stands up and he says, "Follow me,"
All right, I will
or he
get up and
hops
follow.
down. I'm assuming everybody follows. And he goes to up the stair to the very top attic room. And in that attic room, the room is it's dusty, but it's empty. There's no objects in here at all beyond the structure of the room. And standing in the middle of the room, standing free in the middle of the room, you see this, another door.
Should I try hitting it with the sword?
No.
No.
Oh.
Pippin looks at you sideways. He looks at you again, Jaro. Really?
Yes. You found it
But
before I could.
Tootsie Roll.
He says, "I will help you to get past any of the questioning or understanding. To get through this door, you will need the blood of an innocent."
Okay, guys, where's the nearest orphanage?
Will we need all the blood of the innocent or just a small amount?
That is a fair question. I do not know. She does
We
speak to
better.
me from time to time, and that's why I'm here to gather information from her. She will speak to me through the door, but I doubt she will speak to you. I've never been in. I have not actually seen her.
I understand. Does the innocent have to be human? Or lambs or what other, spotless creatures?
He puts his hand out, and his hand glows, and the door glows. Now, what you see on the door here is just the imagery you see. But then on the door, it comes up written in ancient script, which actually Tower understands, and of course you understand as well, Jaro. It is Athalani, and in it it simply says, "To gain entrance, the blood of an innocence is required." That's all it says.
Okay. I look at Jaro and say, first let's start with like a puppy, and if that doesn't work, we'll go to the orphan.
A lamb would probably be best.
Okay. We'll get both just in case.
Wow.
All right.
This is your champion. Just remember that.
God.
Yes, but at least he's willing to listen to reason
Well,
and not just.
the funny thing is, though, Puffin, I've been trying to add tension by days. This is day 2 because 108 days. He either has a sacrifice an innocent or he himself is sacrificed. I'm trying to use that to build tension, but I think I'm wasting my time.
Oh,
Yeah.
My apologies.
Yeah.
We will sacrifice him.
Yes, that's fair.
Oh yeah, he's going bye bye, but
Yeah.
doesn't mean the
So fuck. As long as Big Daddy die fulfilled.
That's true.
Mhm.
That's true. But
That's
anyway,
true.
so what are you guys going to do here? To be fair, the message is it's straightforward and cryptic at the same time, isn't it?
Yep.
We go to the nearest farm supply store and we buy a goat.
A lamb,
What?
not a goat.
My bad. A lamb.
spotless with no defect.
At the nearest farm supply store.
In the middle of what time of the year is it?
Well, you are in Arkansas, so
That's
You never
true.
do a
I mean,
supply store and bought animals?
no, you would have to do. I'm sure Paul could find the nearest place to buy live animals.
Probably
yeah.
from a farm.
Let's do it, y'all. Let's go buy an animal to sacrifice.
I will stay here with Pippin and speak with him.
Okay.
Hopefully, the animal.
Who's going to the animal buying store?
I want to choose one to kill.
Okay.
All right.
What?
I'm gonna go. I can't let. I can't have Tower be the one to be in charge of this because he'll pull out his sword. So I'll just find a place where they sell lambs, and I'll buy one.
Okay.
And then I'll bring it back. We don't have to. I don't think we have to role play
No,
this
we
out.
don't. You guys are back in the room with a little spotless lamb.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, who does the honors here?
I will pull out the axe and prepare the sacrifice.
Okay.
Wait,
being an well,
Does it
hold on
say
a second.
sacrifice or
Hold on.
blood?
Hold on a second. Let me deal one at a time, please. Okay. Jaro, actually being Atalana yourself, you actually know exactly how this is supposed to be done, and you do. And the door opens.
Oh, nice. That was clever. We didn't have to kill any innocent people.
Yes. Well, I was assuming you guys would go right to the little girl, but
Well, yeah, Tower would have.
Yes, I know. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Doors open.
I will go in
Now,
with the proper etiquette of Pippin's style. That's what I would have been talking with him about, of proper etiquette for the lady, because I haven't.
And he does give you some suggestions, and none of those are very shocking to you because it's what you would expect to be done, right? But anyway, I'm assuming everyone follows you, and you guys all enter into the door, and of course everything goes pitch black.
I pull out a Tootsie Roll and I turn it into a flashlight.
No light comes from it.
Okay. Fuck. I pull out the sword, and the light from the sword will guide our way.
It doesn't matter. It's just dark.
Well, no, the Excalibur would light your area, and you can see each other's features. Excalibur would work here, but it's irrelevant because appearing in front of you, you see Eudora. Now,
oh Jesus fuck!
Um,
Do you say that?
Now, Jaro, there is something familiar about her. But one thing you find interesting here that because this is another one of you, this is an Atalani,
Mhm.
and most of the Atalani, like yourself, you don't age, right? Not in
Mhm.
not visibly. But this is the second Atalani you've seen today. One being Sidon himself, and then this
Mhm.
Atalani here that are very aged and weathered. And this is a bit disturbing to you.
Mm.
And she seems a little
Right.
bit familiar, but you can't place it.
Miss Eudora,
Yes, Jaro,
were you listening when I was speaking with Pippin? Do you know why we are here?
I do.
Then you know that it is of importance to us, but I will not press for any information.
Why would we
We will.
want to disturb our brother? Let him do as he will.
I would if I was not under obligation.
I'm assuming
He has.
you're worried about that upstart Raoul.
Yes, I am, but also I have had a conflict with Sidon for many, many years, which I'm sure you are aware of.
I am. I am.
And this is perhaps, if I am to confess, perhaps an excuse in order to settle the score.
That is interesting. Indeed. But if you're so concerned about Raoul, why don't you just go and speak to his creator?
Because that would be more nightmares.
Oh, Oberon's not that bad.
We did speak to Oberon though, and we we know that he's not interested in helping.
Oberon is never interested in anything that does not benefit Oberon.
You,
Well, what would benefit Oberon?
That is a question, young champion.
I'm pretty old there, Missy.
I'll laugh when he says that.
Yeah, different time scales there, buddy.
Different time scales. Yeah.
Oh, the character does look young though now.
Well, you're standing in a room with two 20,000 plus year old people.
Hmm.
Oh, well, I mean, I got a few years on my back, Granny, but wouldn't you like to know?
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
This is
I
why I ask
Muty,
about
mute
her.
yourself, Tower.
do you have a one of your abilities to be like a silent spell thing that you can just put over your mouth?
Mhm, mhm, mhm. Anyway,
No, dude, I
let's
just
not
want.
get distracted. Don't get distracted.
Yes, I know, I know, I know.
Continue, please.
I could speak with him, but I'm worried that his price would be something not terrible, but altogether trickling suffering, as always it is with those that do not die in a timely manner.
Guys, I have to get off the computer. I got hell coming down right now.
Okay, lady.
So,
All right,
No
lady.
problem.
Have a good one.
bye.
They said,
Hi.
I'll try to get back on the phone, but I don't know how good it's going to be.
Okay, no problem. Try that. Yeah, hail's always fun. But she uh, she shifts the conversation because she says that Raul's an upstart anyway. I don't even think he has the ability to do what he wants to do. Does anyone even know what his plan is? But beyond that, revenge. Now that's interesting. And as she says that, she actually raises her hand and kind of brushes her hair to her side as she does. And you notice a birthmark on her arm, and your memory comes back to you. This is Cersei. You've actually had a dalliance with her, maybe. Or
A
two.
long time ago.
Yeah.
Yes, or two.
She's not looking like she used to, because she used to be a
Nope.
major hottie.
Yeah. But that's how it goes, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you're wondering how possibly an Atalani could age like that.
Yes, I do have a question, though.
Yeah,
I saw Sidon, and he looked emaciated.
he
I
did.
saw his true form. What would cause an Atalani to wither like that?
Ah, like me? I see.
No, you are not. You have bore up the
Now,
information of
Gyro.
ages.
You don't have to lie to me. It's all a part of the great plan.
I was never privy to the great plan, unfortunately.
No, you are nothing more than a hammer.
Indeed. I was good at hammering.
She chuckles. In a very disturbing way, a GOP will never ever think straight again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But anyway, and she says, I am at a crossroads. There is much you need to learn. I will tell you
Okay.
this.
Yes.
Raul is up to more than you think he is. And as she says that, you see the left side of her face literally drops as if she just had a stroke. And she
Oh.
she tries to continue to speak. She's like, but I will. And she gets control of herself, and her face kind of half repairs itself. I will help you. She pulls out of her pocket a vial of holding some kind of red liquid, and she hands it over to you as her body shakes violently.
I will help to stabilize her and take the vial
And
with my.
she's trying to speak, but you see her both sides of her face start to slip, right? And she is speaking incoherently to you as she shakes. And as she does, the last coherent word that any of you can actually make out is Raul owns us all. And she passes in your arms.
I will sigh. And I will, well, I'll probably try to take her back out through the door.
You do. Well, actually, you have no
No.
choice. You find yourself outside the door anyway.
Okay.
And all you're holding is a bunch of rags.
I will fold them and lay them on the ground.
All right. So, what do you guys do?
Sorry, Pippin.
All right, we have a potion of some kind.
You have some potion of some kind. You don't have information. Clearly, she was trying to say something to you, but she was being attacked. You don't know by what. None of you have. Well, actually, that's not necessarily
I have.
true. Give me. No. There's only one of you, the bearer of the sword. Tower. I'm going to give you a very, very difficult roll. Give me an occult roll of 19, please.
Okay. Damn, that's gonna be hard.
It is. It's very hard. Yeah. I mean,
Okay. 3d12, 2d6. Dice upload.
Well, you spend a power
That
point,
is
and you're
good.
good to go.
Yeah, I do that.
Okay. And with that expenditure of PowerPoint, you while she was going through these convulsions and Jaro was talking to her, and while she passed, it all happened very sudden, right? But during that, the sword once again was shaking in the sheath, and you kept hearing this word. You don't know what it means, but you kept hearing this word, Lemadon, Lemadon, Lemadon.
Okay, I look at the others and I tell them what you just said because I don't want to stutter. And I say, the sword, get talking.
Okay. Jaro, you're the only person that could possibly understand that word. So you're going to have to give me well, for you, it's not going to be very hard, but it is obscure. So I'll make it a 15.
Okay. I don't think my mental won't my distinction will, so it's only these dice.
Okay. Nice rolls.
Thank you.
17. What I give you a 15, right?
Right.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. So no problem. You succeed easy. And this is an Atalani word. You know it, but it is an obscure word because it usually means it's usually used to mean like long sleep. Sometimes it's even used to refer to for death, poetically. But in this context, you understand it's used as another name for Osiris.
Ah, I remember him.
Yes, another Atalani, one
I
that you
should go.
have not seen in forever.
I should go speak with him.
Easier said than done.
Indeed. But when is it ever easy to get multiple of us in one place?
It is true. That is true. All right. So let's come back over this side here. So we have the means to enter into the door and to face Sidon. So what do you guys want to do? We gained a little bit of information, kinda. It's very cryptic, but you have a feeling. Oh, you know now that there's a little bit more going on with Raoul than you thought. You have no clue what that is, but
I
So there is a quick question.
yeah.
Is this something that one of us has to drink, or is this something that we pour on the door?
Well,
This looks
Because
like
I
blood.
she barely survived long enough to even give it to you. She clearly came under a
true.
serious attack. But she did say that Raoul has us all. And what does that mean?
I will. I have two things. Number one, I want to ask Pippin if he knows anything about this vial, what it could be, and then two, what she meant by Rawl has us all. Then I want us to go back to the office where those three were gathered and ask them, the ones that I was standing behind.
The ones that are in the bastion.
Yes.
They mean the Elohim inner circle.
Yes.
Oh, okay, all right, all right. So you speak to Pippin, who is right there waiting, and he's actually he's kind of looking on, and there's this beautiful little magical book floating in the air in front of him with a well appointed quill writing. He's not writing; it's writing itself.
Mhm.
And you come to Pippin and you ask, and he says, "Ah, yes, you probably want to throw that on the door, I would assume."
Yes.
And the
Thank
other
you.
question?
Do you know of a way to reach Osiris?
Not really. But that wasn't the question you were going to ask, though. But he doesn't. Not really. No. I'm sure you can find a way, though. But Pippin personally doesn't know.
And then the other question, I totally brain farted, so I don't even remember what I was going to ask. Oh well.
You asked, what did she mean by Raoul has us all?
Oh yes,
Oh yeah.
I'll ask him that.
Well, I would assume from the conversations I had with her, Raoul is somehow siphoning the Altalani to do whatever it is he's doing.
So we are his power source.
It seems so.
That's why they're withering.
But
So
that
now I
brings
wonder, Did the council? I'm just talking with Pippin. I'm talking out loud because if he's a recorder of information, let it not be said that I overlooked anything, even being a brutish barbarian. Could it be that Rahl may not be doing exactly what he's doing? He's creating an incident to get the Atalani to come together, because basically having us link, he is slowly draining them. And Sidon, like, maybe the reason the council wants us to take out Sidon is not that he could interfere, but that they know that he is draining him. And they want to cut him off before he can drain the rest of him.
You're asking Pippin. Pippin
I'm just
said,
thinking out loud.
"Yeah, no, I get you. I get you." Pippin says that, that is interesting. Although you are far older than I would say that in my experience, I have found that things are never what they seem.
True. We will go to the door, but first, I'm going to speak with the council.
All
Thank you,
right.
Pippin, for all of your help.
He bows his head, and with that, he pops out of existence.
Let's go back to the council, gentlemen. I have much to discuss, please.
Well, it has not been very long. So you guys, does anybody have anything else they want to say or do before I move on, continue on?
Let's get going.
All right.
So, yeah.
All right. So you guys pop into the Umbral Bastion of Shiloh again. Remdar Step is handy, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and of course you go back that where you had been led by Burquest before, into the Abel's Way, and then into the back room. And sure enough, the council is still there. We are less than 2 days away from that meeting you had, and there are more people in this room actually having conversations. And You come in and they see you, and they ask, they come up to you and ask, how are things going?
I have some questions, and I am being a barbarian. I am resisting grabbing my axe as I say this question. I have some questions. I have recently talked with, and I'll give her name and explain to them what happened.
Cersei, yeah.
Cersei, and that she met her demise, that it appears that whatever Rahl is doing, he is siphoning the Atalani as for power. Cersei said that he
well, hold,
wouldn't
hold on, hold on,
be...
hold on, hold on. With you making that comment, GOP, you're always asking about watching the intentions of people. So give me a roll. Now these are elders. Matter of fact, Lady Alora is, she's a Chaldomite, so she's actually one of the children of Cersei herself, right? But that's aside from here. But you know who you're dealing with, Puffin. Now you understand who she may be, because Lady Alora is a Chaldomite, right?
she
But
could be my daughter.
we don't know. But I'm just saying that that's a bit of
Mm-hmm.
information that now comes together for you because of the knowledge you
Okay.
have. However, GOP is always paying attention to the intentions of people. Therefore, and these are elders, so they would be really good at hiding anything.
Makes sense.
I'm going to give you I'm going to give you a 19 on it.
Okay,
A
I
lot
will
of
roll my
19s
dice.
today.
I
Right
always
on, Roy.
a one. It never fails.
Ooh, nice. A 10 sider. Sweet.
Or are you going
Okay.
to re-roll?
That costs 2 points, and I've got 2 points. So
Well, if
I'll
you
let him
spend one
have it.
PowerPoint, you're done anyway.
Yeah, I'll just spend one. That's
Yeah.
fine. And yeah.
So you notice that with him mentioning Raoul siphoning the Otolani, when he says that, all of them slightly twitch. The normal person wouldn't notice it, but you did.
All right. They can continue.
Yep, go ahead and continue, Puffin.
Apparently, Circe said that for her demise, that Raoul has us all, which represents the siphoning of us, me and my kin. But also, that he doesn't have the ability to do what he's setting out to do, which makes me think that totally explains why he needs us. His intentions will never work unless he drains the old gods, as I tap my axes together. In order to achieve this, which makes me wonder why I would be sent to destroy Sidon. Wouldn't we want to try to keep him alive, to avoid his siphoning, keep him safe? When I saw his true form, he looked very emaciated, very troubled, as if he's running. He screamed, nothing like the man I used to know. And I ask you, do you want me to remove him so that he is no longer a source of power?
Lord Sid is the one to speak, and he says, "The Elohim have given you a task. Who are you to question it?"
I am older than the Elohim. I was here before all of you existed, and I will be here long after you are gone.
Ramsheen supports what Sid said. "How dare you speak against the Elohim? It does not matter how old you are. You do as you are told." He seems oddly angry.
You
GOP,
seem
all of your little buzzers are going off.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna do a persuasion roll to try and get them to give us more information. Um, so for well, let me see if I can make my roll first.
Okay.
If you're
Well,
cool with that.
he has clearly riled them, right? Now, to be fair,
Understandable.
the rest of them don't have the insights that you have. They're not built like you are. You are literally built for this kind of interaction. They are not. So, other than a little bit of stern talking from an elder, it's not shocking necessarily to the others. But your bells and whistles are going off like crazy, and therefore, because they are riled, I will lower the difficulty to a 15 for you.
Okay. All right. Let me. So it's 2d12, d10, and 3. Okay. All right. Well, that's enough.
That's a nice roll.
Yeah. Well, that d12 landing on a
It is a
12
nice
wasn't bad.
roll. 19, dude.
Okay.
Nice. Natural with no PowerPoints. And it is a really good roll. And what are you trying to do?
Look, uh, you may not know me that well, but I have a knack of reading people. Uh, see, we need to be on the same page here if we want to succeed. You know. Um. So if there's anything else to this, anything at all, let's clear the air and so we all want this to be successful. I can assume. So please, if there's anything else that you're not sharing with us that might be prudent, please work with us here.
Lady Allure looks at the two gentlemen side to side, and she says, "Well, that was your idea, Ramsheen." And he kind of bows his head and says, "Yeah, well, it was worth a try." And with that, lady, Mirmir's eye starts going crazy. It glows a color you hadn't seen before. All of these people in the room all start shifting, and you start seeing them for what they are. You are standing in front of 3 actual Elohim members. Yes, true. But all the other people in the room are Stygians.
Pulling out the maxes. Although I already had them out.
And initiative.
Oh, wait. We're in. I thought Stygians couldn't go to this particular place, or maybe I'm incorrect.
No, you are 100% correct, sir. 100% correct. There's no way should there be demons in an Umbral bastion. However, you have seen an example of it already when you went and you spoke to the Asmodean. He was in an
Can I
Umbral
pull out?
bastion as well.
Can I pull out the teleporting stone and just teleport us all out of here?
You could. You could.
Yeah. Where do you guys want to go?
Well, no, you don't have time for that. You either do it
Don't
or you
have time.
Because
Yeah, we do.
I'm about to sink my axes into Ramsheen. Like, wham.
Okay, Tower.
I don't
So, Tower, where do you take them?
Where we go? What are we doing?
I take everyone to Dove, one of the Dove headquarters.
Boston. All right. Well,
Yep.
Interesting. I didn't expect you guys to catch on that quick. I've been leaving hints, but I didn't expect for it to drop that quickly. So I didn't even have that battle written up. So it's better that he did take you out, because me winging it would not have been good, I'm sure. But
I didn't want.
Rewind it and show it to the boss.
Right. No, I know you're recording. All right, that's interesting. So we find ourselves with a lot more information. It's still not clear what's going on, though. But clearly, something more is happening with Raoul than you initially expected. If Tower had not reacted quickly, you guys would be in a fight right now, one that you might not have survived, right? Because the Stygians, fair enough, you could take a room of Stygians, but 3 3 actual Elohim members, then they're literally inner circle. That's a rough fight, right? And beyond that, they are who they say they are. Mimir's eye shows that they are. They haven't been doppelgangered or anything like that. A lady can confirm. They are exactly who they are. So how in the hell is the inner circle somehow involved in this? And more importantly, why were they just about to mutilate you?
I'm just curious. I want to see what my attack roll would have been.
Oh, fair. Go ahead.
That would have been horrible. I would have given you a D12. Glad I didn't get to swing.
That would be a rough fight. I mean, you do have the champion with you. We do have an Atalani Elder Warrior with us, and of course,
One little tech girl dead.
Well, but your power has been increased to high levels. You're all very powerful right now, but that's interesting. So I'm leaving it right there. Yeah, go ahead.
Welcome, guys.
What do you say?
I tell everyone, I look at everyone and say, "You're welcome. I don't fancy getting the shit beat out of me today."
Now, you guys are at
You'd
the
rather
office,
do that to little girl.
and we're going to leave it here and pick it up next week. But keep in mind that you guys have to think about this for a second of what you're going to do, because keep in mind that you were sent on a mission, but who took you to them?
Antoine.
Is he involved, or is he just as out of the loop as you are? And what is going on? A lot of little things came up. Sidon is exactly where he is, by the way, and you do have a way to get in. So we'll leave it there and see what they do next week. Interesting. So any questions before we go offline?
Just one question.
Yes.
Just for Jero. When all this stuff was happening, like, I know he would have been looking at the girl in the middle, now realizing, and that's what he'll be mulling over in his head, is the ramifications of who she might be.
Right, because as far as Lady is concerned, she is who she says she is. Because Mimizari, there was some kind of magic, must have been ridiculously powerful magic to get past Mimir's eye. But as soon as that veil dropped, she could see what was really in the room. So, and beside the fact that a bunch of Stygians are sitting in a Umbral Bastion anyway, is enough to tell you that there was serious magic going on. However, the only extra information beyond her being who she says she is a Chaldamite, Lady Allure, and you know now because we just had an interaction with Eudora, who you know is actually Cersei, and most all of those elders were involved in some kind of demon creation. More than likely, your character had played part in something somewhere or another either as well, but I'll let you explain that. But So the Cholamites are a direct creation of Cersei herself. That's an interesting connection. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't know what that means because Cersei is dead.
Yep.
Any other questions?
No, I'll have to think through what our next.
Everybody have a great, was it Mother Day this weekend?
Thank you, lady. I'm sorry, GOP. What were you saying?
No, I'm just saying we'll have to think this through. I mean, we might try and bring it to Ninma, but kind of weigh her response.
Right, but you have to
I
keep
mean,
in
if
mind.
let's say she is, because I mean, she in particular, it seems like, has very good reason to want to get rid of Rawl. Like she's kind of already shown that.
It's kind of like her father, right? And she
Yeah.
was clearly upset. Ninma is certainly powerful. When you guys in the initial thinking we've been going with here, after defeating Sidon, you guys would have had to put a team together and go after Rawl. She would have certainly been on that team, right? But where do her loyalties really stand? You don't know. And you're good at noticing people's intentions, and she was very upset about the situation, dude. There's no lies. Her emotions were real, especially coming from she is really old, but she's a person that tries to control her emotions at all times. So that's a good question. Where does Nima stand? You don't know where does Berquist stand. Of course, a completely different level of power between the two. Yeah, there's a lot of questions you have now, and you're standing outside the Boston Dub office as we state because he didn't specify any place inside. He just said the Dub office, so I put you outside to help you out a bit, right? Everybody take 7 experience points.
Okay.
Hell yeah. Hey, do I get anything for that quick thinking?
You do.
You know what?
No, he does.
I would.
I'm going to give you an extra experience points. Take 8.
Okay.
Thank you.
I would have said I would have voted for you to get that XP, but you also kind of drew your sword at a bunch of teenage girls.
Yes,
Yeah, you should lose one for that
odd.
too.
It is odd.
Question is,
Odd.
Excuse
it
me,
will
Mr.
question
G.
the authenticity of my whoop ass.
What's up, Puffin?
So can I spend this 14 XP?
Yeah.
That's what you got to do.
Of course you can.
Awesome.
Yeah, of course you
I
can.
haven't.
The only time you can't is if we have to take a break because of time limitations and we're literally in the middle of a fight. Anytime that you're in a non-fight scene, which we are, you can spend your XP. Yeah. I don't know, GOP. Have we had a situation where you haven't been able to spend your XP yet? I don't think so.
I think only one time did we cut the session,
Like
either
that,
right
yeah.
before the fight.
Something like that, but it's only in those situations, and they're very rare. But yeah, of course, please spend your experience points, and you know the page to where how you expend it. It's there. Other than that, you guys are going to have to rethink it. I wasn't even prepared for that fight. I knew that fight would come eventually, but I hadn't prepared for it because I figured your dawning of understanding would have came at a later point I had planned. But hey, it's okay. It's all good.
That happens when you have another GM in the party.
It does. Yeah. No, it's cool. I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it because I've been putting subtle hints, right, to that something more has been going on. but I've been very careful not to make them obvious at all, right? Yeah, because I want us to build into the story. But yeah, now you guys are, well, it's interesting. What's going to happen now? So, all right, let me come back over the other side here and thank everybody for coming in. We do appreciate it. Things have certainly heated up today. We've gained information. We didn't have a fight though. No fight today, but that's okay. This doesn't. You don't always have to have fights. And a lot of information was dropped, which is why I gave them so many experience points. And please come back next week. Do keep in mind here on Friday, or excuse me, your Thursday, we have Drawn and Quartered Ultimate Edition. I'm not sure who we have. I'm not sure if we're doing an indie or not, but it doesn't matter. It's always cool to see the amazing art that everyone does, and please come back for that. But other than that, we'll see you next week for the continuation of Umbral. Later.
Good night.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.